Michigan has officially certified the results for Joe Biden. And then just about an hour or so ago, Donald Trump announced that he would allow the transition process to begin, though he's still saying he has a path to victory. And the first thing that I have to say, he does. He does. We've got a big show coming up tomorrow. There's some pending litigation that is serious. I'm not going to pretend that Trump is on track for winning, but there still is this, I'll just call it a very slim possibility. But I personally, and I've been saying this for the past several weeks, don't think it's likely at all. And we're going to see how it plays out. I have no problem waiting to see what happens. But I'm just telling you guys this right now. Tomorrow, we're having a special guest who's going to be going over pending litigation, new litigation, and serious litigation. So it might have an impact on things. And in other news, welcome to the Timcast IRL podcast. Ian's sick. There's no one there. Can you want to show? The chair is empty.
No.
chair stream.
No, but
Chair stream, yeah.
The quartering is here. Jeremy.
Yeah, geez. I mean, I guess I don't know why I tune in tonight because tomorrow night's the much bigger show. But I do appreciate you two making me feel welcome, and thanks for having me.
We were like, how do we kill time until we have this really big show? I guess we'll ask Jeremy.
Yeah, that's fine. I'm fine. Hey, man, I'm pushing for. I'm take all the scraps, man. I'll be here. I'll come out here twice a month. I'm fine with it.
Man. I mean, we're done to have you whenever, man. But so you want to just do quickly introduce yourself, and then we'll read the news, and then we'll talk about whatever.
Yeah, sure. I know we share a good bit of our audience, but I run two YouTube channels, one called The Quartering and one called Midwestly, which is more political. Quartering covers like pop culture and stuff. It's only 50,000 short of 1 million. So
cool.
Yeah. So I know Tim's got a literal pile of gold play buttons, which he makes you look like you
There's one on the floor.
Yeah. Yeah. I walked into the house and I'm tripping over gold play buttons, and I'm like, Tim, how many gold? I got a bunch.
They're just everywhere.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, well, maybe
we threw the silver ones in the trash. I don't even know where they are.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. They're balancing the table.
I honestly don't know where they are.
Oh my god.
I think they're in a box.
Yeah. So I'm glad to be here, and huge shout out to your entire crew. Tiffany picked me up, brought me to the undisclosed Beanie compound.
That's right.
Beanie compound.
Lydia's been slightly above average at making me feel welcome.
Excellent. Yes, good. Thank you.
Slightly above average.
Yeah, and Tim's always good. Yeah.
I'm always frustratingly milquetoast and stumbling over golden play buttons.
Well, the funny thing is you have this beautiful fence outside, and then when I pulled in, I really expected you to be sitting on it.
Sitting right on it.
Sitting there just like drinking a beer, just like literally sitting on the fence.
Yeah. But no, you were busy working.
It's too tall. It's a huge wall we built. First one we did, we're going to build a big, beautiful wall, 30 feet tall, solid concrete. You can't see through it. Nobody's getting on this property. All right, let's here's the big breaking news that just came down. It's been updated in the past 15 or so minutes. But, earlier I did a segment on the feud that was going on. So I definitely want to talk about this canvassers meeting because I'm thinking, I don't know, man, these Republicans that were on the board of canvassers to certify the vote for Biden. This guy was trying in every way possible to make sure he would give Biden the win, even though there were serious challenges.
We're talking about Pennsylvania or which state?
Michigan. Okay.
What county?
Wayne County.
Wayne County, yeah.
But let's just breaking news.
Oh, sure.
They say the Board of State Canvassers certified Michigan's November general election results Monday. The board, made up of 2 Republicans and 2 Democrats, met November 23rd to make the vote count official after 83 Michigan counties certified their election results, which includes Joe Biden's 2.8% statewide victory over Trump. They say Aaron Van Langeveld, a Republican canvasser and an attorney for the House Republican caucus, said the board doesn't have many options outside of performing its duty to certify the election. Quote, "This board must respect authority entrusted to it and follow the law as it is written. We must not attempt to exercise power we do not have," Van Langeveld said. "We have a clear legal duty to certify the results of this election. We cannot and should not go beyond that." And I'm going to stop right there and say I completely agree with this Republican, except they're not doing their duty at all. So one of the arguments that was brought forward was certify means to determine the veracity, to assert that it's true and correct. And they literally don't do that. They're just like, here are the results. Have a nice day. Rubber stamp. Move on.
Well, I thought that was an interesting way to word it, too. I've been following that in Wayne County, where they're basically saying it's their job to certify the election. But like, as you said, not really.
Just a rubber stamp.
But that's part of what you do. But you didn't do the other part of the job. So, I mean, to come in now and say, well, I'm just doing my job. This is for America.
He's scared of the mob.
Yes, right. Well, we saw with doxing and family threats and things like that.
He's terrified.
Yeah.
So for those that aren't familiar, Wayne County, which has Detroit, previously was deadlocked 2-2, and the left and Democrats started naming where these Republicans' kids were going to school. They were getting legit threats, and then they issued an affidavit saying we were pressured into this, we were tricked into it. They were promised an audit, and that was reported. There was going to be an audit, and then they're saying nope, we're not going to do it. Too bad, you lose. So now it's coming to this guy, but here's the thing: the other Republican, there are two Republicans. He abstained.
What?
He didn't even vote no.
What?
So look, man, I tell you, you got a lot of people who think it's the end of the world. They're saying, if Trump does lose this and Biden gets in, it's going to be great reset. It's going to be, all of the worst possible things, massive lockdown, and the lockdown's getting crazy. And if you don't got any Republicans who are willing to stand up and say no, well then, dude, I probably already lost.
Yeah.
And the political space, I mean, not like the literal war or anything.
Yeah, there are
war.
a few states where Republicans stood tall. And, I think if you're worried about lockdowns, I mean, Trump's president right now. Look what's happening in California, New York, Pennsylvania, trying to get people to, wear masks in their own home.
Yeah, that's great.
It's lockdowns they're here. The lockdowns are here right now. And unless you have a state with, really, it seems like a Republican dominant Supreme Court, you're living under these rules. You see that Minnesota tried to have $1,000 fine for socializing with somebody outside of your house.
Oh my gosh.
And then a $25,000 fine if you publicly said you weren't going to obey these rules. And I'm
what?
Yeah, that was came out of their governor. I'm sure it didn't pass, but this was what he proposed. This is like one state away from me. And what do you mean? Joe Biden's not president right now.
Yeah, because where are you at? Do you want to?
Wisconsin.
Yeah,
I live in Wisconsin.
Wanted to say or whatever, but. And in this is crazy, Newark, New Jersey, they're saying you can't leave your home at all. But apparently now there's people saying like, try me. And so we don't know if they're going to enforce it, but they tried saying you don't leave your house. But let's take a look at this real quick. They say Charlie Spies, who represents Senate candidate John James, said the meeting should be adjourned until Wayne County's results are audited. Our position isn't that this election shouldn't be certified, but the Board of State Canvassers should only do that when it's confident the results it is certifying are correct. Literally what certifying means. I'll tell you, what was crazy about this board meeting earlier? You had this one guy, Aaron Van, Langeveld or whatever his name is. This dude's clearly terrified of the mob. And look, I'll put it this way. It's my opinion, but he was doing everything in his power to justify why he would not try and get this looked into. So you had one guy, it was this guy, Charlie Spies, who represents John James, Senate candidate. And he said, according to, Section 116, it says you have the authority to certify the results, and that is defined legally as determining whether it's true, which means your job is to determine whether this is true and you have that authority to do so. This guy, Aaron, starts saying, I don't see anything within the statutes that grants me that power. And then he says, it even says you have the right to adjourn for any necessary purpose. And then this Republican guy goes, I can't just make something up. And they're like, you're not. If you want to certify the results are true, then that means there needs to be an audit. That means you adjourn until you have the ability to certify the results are true. So basically what happened in Wayne County was that there's a signature books, I guess, is my understanding. And there were more people who have signed in than there were people or there was a different amount of people who signed in than voted, creating a massive discrepancy in like 70% of the, the voting precincts or whatever.
And they couldn't figure out really how to rectify that either, right? I think that's where they stuck. They were basically like, we know this is wrong, but we have no way to. It's kind of like with the mail-in ballots. Once they throw out the envelope, they can't do this signature verification.
Yeah.
Dude, how crazy is it that what we have learned? I'll tell you this. If all that ends up coming out of Trump's legal battles for the presidency is that we have these lawsuits and the results, then I'm eternally grateful. I'm eternally grateful because here's what we learned. We learned that if you have an unbalanced ballot book or whatever, where you have more voters than votes and less voters than votes, doesn't matter. No one seems to care. Hey, no, that's fine. We'll rubber stamp that, send it on through. Yeah. And in Pennsylvania, what's really crazy, Third Circuit Court of Appeals just dismissed Trump's appeal, saying that they have no standing. And this was the suit claiming that there were no observers for 682,000 votes. So you know what that means? It means that you can be running election and you can straight up just tell a massive urban voting, counting center, okay, kick all the Republicans out. Kick them all out. And now we're going to say everything is for our candidate and they can't do anything about it because the courts have already ruled we don't have to.
Wasn't that guy a never Trumper too? The guy in Pennsylvania. Am I thinking of the right guy? The guy who ruled against it. I feel like something came out where he was a never Trumper.
Interesting.
Oh yeah.
There's something
the
there.
first guy, the state. I think it was the first at the state level, I guess.
Yeah.
Now, Trump's campaign has said this is a good thing because it means they're going to get closer to SCOTUS. As if, like, why would it matter if it's SCOTUS or a federal judge? If you lose, you lose, and you appeal, and then, I mean, unless they think they've got some political clout among specific judges.
Well, and you don't have Amy Coney Barrett right now either, right? She's recused herself from.
Has she?
I thought she recused herself from
I don't
any.
think so.
Is that not true? I
don't
felt like
know.
she said she
Maybe.
had recused herself from
That would, I hadn't heard about that.
any type of election.
I know they were
ruling.
asking her to, and I think she kept saying, "I can't give you an opinion on."
Okay.
You know.
They
Okay.
put
But I
her
don't
in
know.
charge of that district.
Yeah, she was just put in charge
If
of Wisconsin.
Ian was here, he
Yeah,
could have
I know.
fact
He
checked
could have
that.
fact checked it. Let me look it up.
Well,
Yeah.
Lydia can.
I got
But
it.
they just did the new SCOTUS appointments where they assign the judges to
Saw
different
that.
circuits.
Yeah.
So
So maybe that doesn't make sense then if she's going to preside over. Wisconsin.
no. I mean, it doesn't mean she's going to preside over an election case. But
Oh, okay.
yeah. So the fact that the federal judge kicked back and dismissed Trump's lawsuit within I think it was 2.5 hours or something, that actually could be good, because the one thing I think that might matter if it goes to the Supreme Court is that they might have it might have a bigger impact outside of just that specific circuit. So if they rule the federal level, at the Supreme Court level, mail-in votes for this reason are no good, then the whole election is just upended.
Well, let's play a game, right? Let's say that's true. What happens there? Do you just say, we're just not going to count these 700,000 votes? Are they recast? I mean, let's say hypothetically, this has been my struggle is where there's smoke, as you put it, it's like, okay, well, then what? You just throw out 700,000 votes? I can't see that happening.
There's no circumstance where I think any rational person has faith in our elections anymore.
A lot of people are black-pilled, which sucks. I see it in my comment sections. I see it in your live chat. I see a lot of faith lost in the elections system. And I agree that Trump is doing a good thing by at least fighting this and exposing some things, because hopefully these things can be corrected. In particular, let's worry about fewer mail-in ballots where people can go to somebody's house and just say, here, I filled it out for you, just sign. That kind of stuff.
I only have faith in the elections because Trump won in the first place.
Mm-hmm.
When Hillary was running, I was like, what's the point?
Right.
And then when she didn't win, I was like, whoa.
He must have won by 7 million votes. That's how I felt.
I mean,
I felt he must have won by a landslide if he had managed, because I figured they would have tried every little thing,
Yeah. Trump ended up winning, and then I thought, wow, I guess people can really win. Well, okay. So then I voted this time around, and then, now Biden's projected to win. And based on what we've learned throughout these lawsuits, I got very little faith in the election system at all. The fact that we've got all these sworn affidavits of impropriety in Georgia. You've got a sworn statement from, I think there's I read 5 different affidavits where they were saying things like, I watched them pull up votes that were perfectly, not folded, no creases, and it looked like it was machine printed.
What about all the post office ones? Did all those affidavits go away where people are saying, I swear, people are swearing to the fact that they were backdating votes?
They don't care.
What? Yeah, that just disappeared.
We're
right?
supposed to just sit here and be like, well, we have a USPS whistleblower who said they were
more than one, I
backdating.
think it was.
More than
Yeah.
one.
Yeah.
We've got numerous affidavits out of Georgia. We've got numerous mathematical anomalies that have been tracked. Even by, there was a Yale professor, I guess, who was like, wow, that doesn't make sense. And then we've got the Voter Integrity Fund, which has found thousands of voters in Georgia who used fake addresses. Apparently adding apartment numbers to commercial addresses and mailboxes. And we're supposed to ignore everything and carry on like everything's okay and just assume, hey, you know what? This is legitimate and...
Come on, man. Come on. Yeah.
Come on. So if this is how it really ends, then why would I bother participating in an election ever again?
I hope people don't. I understand that line of thinking. But what I think is that people who feel that way should be really concerned about getting involved in election reform. Specifically, mail-in ballots. Look, if you're an active duty military person and you're overseas, 100% understand why that exists. But the idea that the fact that you cannot, there were literally people that were going door to door and helping people fill out ballots. I talked to you before the show. I said, people showed up at my home looking for my wife to say, has she voted? What were they there to? What were they doing there? And I've said before,
Harvesting.
Yeah, they weren't from They weren't from around there, is what I'll say. They weren't from my city. They clearly weren't there stumping for Trump. And I do think Trump made a tactical error spending too much time trying to discredit mail-in ballots and not trying to slow them, stop them, or encourage his Republican base to still use them. Because I feel like there are people who didn't go on election day, and then they're like, well, Trump says mail-in ballots are no good, so I'm just not even going to do that. I feel like that was a Trump error. That was definitely a tactical error.
You know that we had like 500,000 rejected ballots in the Democratic primary? Mail-in ballots?
Well, yeah. Did you see how many they rejected in the presidential election?
Yeah, where are
6.
they? Where are they?
Yeah.
It's unprecedented.
Yeah.
So we're supposed to sit here watching the news. I'm just citing news. These stories about potential fraud and irregularity are coming from like regular old news outlets.
Local news too. Local news, yeah.
I guess it's what they expect of us. Every single one of us just ignores it because every single here's the way I describe it to people. Imagine you're walking past a building, you hear the smoke alarm going off, and you're like, "Wow, smoke alarm usually means fire, huh?" So you call 911 and you say, "Hey, there's a smoke alarm going off," and the operator goes, "Did you see any fire?"
There's no widespread fires currently on record.
Yeah, right. We have no reports of widespread fire anywhere. No, but the alarm is going off. Sir, unless you have evidence of widespread fire in the building, do you want me to go inside and check? I'll tell you what happens when the smoke alarm goes off. The fire department shows up. They come outside and they go, false alarm. And you go, thank you. And then you feel better. You feel safer. So that's the bare minimum. This is the crazy thing. I'm saying if Democrats are so confident it's over and they've won, then why don't they just say, okay, baby, here's your bottle. We're going to do your little audit for you and waste time and energy. And then we're going to hold it over you.
Well, why would
blocking it?
Yeah. Well, why wouldn't they want to double own Trump? Like this would be the double Trump own. And honestly, like for all the money that our government wastes, foreign wars and all this kind of stuff. Like, I don't know, maybe spend it on making sure our election's good and not have just one dude be like, this is the safest election in American history. But, before any audits had been done, before any evidence had been out, people are just like, oh, well, I mean, we saw how the FBI, had their political leanings. We had Comey.
Mm-hmm.
We know that there's a rot from inside. So I think people like myself are like, oh, well, the guy from the FBI says, okay, well, all right. We know that they're partisan. And go ahead.
It's a really good example of something I talk about all the time. I talk about how you'll get some kind of evidence of impropriety or criminal activity, and then all of a sudden you'll get some fringe conspiracy theory. Everyone adopts that theory, and then all of a sudden you can't talk about the actual problem anymore. So, for example, I reference like Pizzagate, for instance. There were a lot of questionable emails. It seems like they're talking in code, saying weird things. Yeah, probably just code for drugs or something. Some kind of improper act.
Right.
Then all of a sudden you get people talking about pizza places and Satan, and the guy shows up and goes crazy with the rifle and shoots the floor, and now all of a sudden it's shut up, ignore this.
Yep.
And so we have all of this evidence of impropriety. And then I'll tell you, and I know the Trump supporters get mad, when Sidney Powell went on TV and she went on Newsmax and said that Governor Kemp was taking money from the communists and working against Trump or whatever, I was like, right away, she derailed the legitimate conversation. Bad. And don't take my word for it. The Trump campaign issued a statement.
They disavowed. Yeah, they disavowed her almost immediately.
That's what the left is saying. The right is saying they're just positioning her so that she's acting now independent or whatever. And I'm like, dude, listen.
It read like a disavowal to me.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
The fact that they had to issue a statement saying she's doing things on her own. Come on. The Trump campaign knows their legal path to victory, and they know what she was saying wasn't including it. And the things she was bringing up about Dominion and Smartmatic and all this stuff is just too out there. You can't prove it in a court.
Yep.
So saying all these things over and over again, that's what I talk about all the time. It's like it's so easy to derail when someone's actually on your tail with what you're doing, and they're like, they figured it out. They've noticed all of these affidavits swearing fraud. Quick, throw them something ridiculous about Venezuela.
Poison the well. Yeah,
exactly.
Well, and like, to be honest, what's infuriating for me is for the last 4 years, we were supposed to believe that Russia flipped the entire 2016 election. You had these clips of that shill John Oliver, my opinion, not Tim's. Like a year ago, he's like, voting machines, we shouldn't be using voting machines. They're prone to errors. And then like 1 year later, he's like, voting machines are the most secure thing ever. How can...
Do you see what...
Go ahead.
You got to see his tweet. It was a really clever play on words. He did a 20-minute segment where he's like, this woman went in current year and flipped the election in 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Come on, people. And I'm like, So he has a lady do a demonstration where she walks to the machine, she takes a ballpoint pen, pops it open, and she pulls out the drive and swaps it or whatever, and took her less than 2 minutes. And then they issued a statement on Twitter where they're like, notice you may have noticed conservative media is pushing this narrative.
Yeah.
Well, the truth is the biggest problem, as we said, is blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, wait. The biggest problem? I don't care about the biggest problem. I care about problems.
Well, that's the poisoning the well thing, right? It's
Exactly.
almost like they gave them something totally absurd that some regular old horse mom, had a memory card, the right kind of memory card, by the way. It's not just any memory card. You'd have to know, it's a mini XD or it's whatever. Then you'd have to have votes on it, unless I guess you could steal it from like a Democratic stronghold. But even it's just so absurd.
This is the game they play. He does a 20-minute segment where he says, here's a list of problems, A, B, C, D, E. But the biggest problem is clearly A. Yeah. Then when you bring up, we found evidence of B, he goes, we said A was the biggest problem.
Right.
Yes, but you also said B was a problem too.
Yeah.
So that's how they're trying to fake backtrack. It's a framing device where stupid people are going to be like, oh, he's saying it's not real. Oh.
Well, it's also the same thing where they try to gaslight people and say, well, nobody dead voted. There were no dead voters. But yeah, absolutely there were. Yes, there are in most elections, but they'll gaslight and say like, well, it wasn't enough to change election. Okay, well, 10,000 here. You got 5,000 votes in Georgia. All this stuff adds up.
My position is, I don't care if it flipped the election or not. Why are there dead voters?
Right.
Seriously?
Fix the problem.
There was a fact check I saw. This is funny. They were like, what's Flecka's? They're like, Flecka's put out this tweet saying they found 10,000 dead voters, on having voted or whatever. So we did a random sampling of 50 people and found 2 of them were still alive. 1 person was wrongly labeled. It was actually their son of the same name. And yes, in fact, 1 person was dead. But this proves, and I'm like, wait. You found a dead person who voted?
1 in 50.
Yeah, I know.
Whoa.
It was something like that. Yeah. I'm like, shouldn't we check that? Because that's weird. How did that happen?
Well, maybe if you didn't have mail-in ballots. You know what I mean? And you could go, there was this article by Vice today, or the other day. Did you see where they put out, maybe we should make voting mandatory?
Yes. that was BuzzFeed, I think.
Or BuzzFeed, yeah.
Did you know that in Australia,
it is mandatory there?
And they only get 90 to 95% turnout?
Yeah.
And there were many jurisdictions across the U.S. with more than 100% turnout.
Interesting.
And they offered up all these different explanations.
Tim, spare me your alt-right conspiracy theories. I read all the articles about you before I came on the show. I've got my de-radicalization suit on underneath this hoodie. Just come on. It never happened. It couldn't possibly happen.
Why won't you guys just accept that Joe Biden is your Supreme Chancellor already? I mean president. President.
Yeah. Whoops.
Wait. Did I say it too soon? Huh?
Yeah, you did.
I think it was Supreme Leader. I'm not sure.
Yeah,
right.
I'm not even convinced. So look, I actually don't think there needs to be any kind of grand conspiracy either. There's a lot of people seem to think there is. Like Rudy Giuliani says, it appears to be coming from a centralized place, and I'm like, dude.
Same place he bought his hair dye, probably.
Yeah.
Problematic.
But
yeah,
look at Antifa doesn't need a leader to organize in different cities. They do have leaders, but here's how it operates. There's no national Antifa guy who's like, everybody go to this place.
Right.
There's passive and active Antifa. There are Antifa people who are very, very active, who are vetting people, and they're the ones running the websites. And they'll be like, hey, we're going to go protest in Berkeley. Send the word out to the other groups. Mm-hmm. And then they all show up. So when it comes to an election, when you see weird anomalies and weird numbers, it could be because where are the rejected mail-in ballots? Rejection rates are supposed to be 1 or 2%. Mm-hmm. They're nowhere to be. We're not rejecting ballots. Mm-hmm. So probably what's happening is you get 1 or 2 people who are like, this is fine to me. And we one of the rulings in Pennsylvania was that even though people failed to fill out their address and date the actual the envelopes, the judge said, no, that's fine. That's acceptable. It's like,
well, why wouldn't it be, Tim?
How do you know it came from the person? Well, because the form itself says it, but who filled out the envelope and sent it in?
Well, we talked about before going on air that I received, and my wife received mail-in ballots. We never requested them.
Yeah.
It takes, at least in my state, just a name and a birth date, which is publicly available. There are absolutely political groups that are mailing these things. And then you follow that up with people showing up at your house, being like, hey, have you filled out your mail-in ballot? Well, let me help you. Because there have been several videos of people on the porch with some poor old granny who's baking some sort of friendship bread or something. And then they're like, oh, well, no. Okay, so you want to vote for Biden, right? Mm-hmm. And then, oh, okay. And then all this ballot harvesting in Minnesota, that's all just alt-right conspiracy theory.
Just gone.
Never happened. Yeah, it never happened, even though there's video evidence of a dude doing it.
Right.
This, again, goes back to we strongly need to reconsider mail-in balloting. It's
You know-
just too
you know-
insecure.
The problem is twofold. Well, the problem is multifaceted,
Yeah.
but Republicans are useless completely.
Well, if they gave a damn, they would have done something about Section 230 in the
don't.
last 4 years.
Yeah, they don't.
If they really cared, you have Ted Cruz out there owning the Zuck all the time. And yeah, it's great. It's a great for clips. But what have you done in 4? You guys,
Can they?
they
do anything?
they knew that this was going to happen, and they did literally nothing.
I am proud to say that I've made many predictions in my day, and it's usually I always say this as listen, I'm not a prophet. I can't pick lottery numbers.
It's complicated.
I make
Yeah, that's right.
I make predictions that are wrong all the time. The point is, I'll get some information in front of me and I'll say, wow, based on this, here's what I think, and then people will clip that and be like, haha, you thought this. I'm like, yeah. I thought Trump was going to win in a landslide back last October with a record economy, and Moody's Analytics saying Trump was going to win in not necessarily a landslide, but
Well, he wins in a landslide without the lockdowns.
Yeah.
Without
Right. Oh, yeah.
Easily. And I don't think you could find anyone that could really argue in good faith against that.
I'm proud to say I predicted back in 2018 that Republicans were too stupid to deal with the issue of censorship to save their own political party.
That's because they're all 100.
Yeah.
That's because every one of them, like
MySpace?
every
Like
one
the-
of them is what's the average age? 70?
Josh Hawley and Ted Cruz.
That's it. And they're
I know.
still in their 60s probably,
Well,
right?
no, no,
40.
no.
Josh
Ted
Hawley's
Cruz
not
is
even
what, his
40.
40s?
Yeah, he's like in his 50s maybe.
No.
Yeah.
Isn't he the Zodiac killer though? Because
Yeah,
that
he
would
is,
put him.
yeah. Yeah,
He's
that
got
put
to
him,
be
like-
in his 60s
Let me
then,
see
right?
how old he is.
Yeah.
That's, how
Poor
old
girl,
is
look it
Ted
up now.
Cruz?
This is a good time to remember. Remember when he liked that tweet?
Yes. That was
He's
amazing.
50. He's 50. Is
I
he
want to
50?
say Josh
49.
is 39.
49.
Oh, he's not even 50.
Ted Cruz is 49.
That's a rough 49. Yeah.
He's looking
and
better.
Josh Hawley is the. I think
he's
Josh
like
Hawley deserves the
39.
most credit on this.
He's,
and
Missouri?
Yeah.
he's
Missouri.
40. Josh
Yeah.
Hawley's 40.
Yeah.
That's
So-
still like, I mean,
But
considering.
I'm not convinced it's stupidity, to be completely honest. I think it's a combination of apathy and look, the Republicans are for the like. There's establishment politicians dominating both parties, and they always have, and they all hate Trump. The thing is, the never Trumpers who formed the Lincoln Project were free agents essentially.
Yep.
Political commentators and coordinators and strategists or whatever. So they had no problem being like, we don't like Donald Trump. But then you get all these Republican candidates, actual politicians who are like, I'm up for re-election in 2 years. What do? I better pretend to like Trump as well.
Yeah.
But then give them the opportunity, and they're going to be like, get rid of him.
A lot of those guys didn't get punished either. There were a lot of never Trumper Republicans that kept their head down and just kind of pretended to play ball, but you knew who they were, and they didn't pay the price. I mean, the Republicans dominated in the Senate and House votes. I mean, there's 50 open seats or 50 toss-ups, and they won every one of them, something like that.
For 2020?
Yeah.
I don't think they didn't win every single one, but they dominated.
Yeah, whatever. It was massive.
They didn't win the majority.
I guess I'm just
but
talking
the
about the ones
Democrats are
classified a toss-up.
Well,
Maybe
yeah, the
they're-
polls were all broken.
Yeah.
But anyway, the point is, if you've got you've got two kinds of Democrats. Well, no, you got three. You've got the corrupt crony leadership types like Schumer, Nadler, Pelosi, Biden. You've got the ultra woke progressives who are, in my opinion, more interested with celebrity and being angry, and that's like the squad.
Yep.
And then you have the rank and file, whatever.
That's
Democrats.
80% of them.
Right.
Yeah.
And the Republicans are all the whatever.
Yeah.
So most of them are just like bump. Like it reminds me of a bunch of just like you got a bunch of people walking around bumping into each other and just just mindlessly walking in a room like.
Well, that's why I want term limits. Can we get term limits, please?
Yes.
I'm sick of having these people, in positions of power for 50 years, unchallenged as a gerrymander and change their election, and never get out of there. And I think they need an injection. If you want to make the term limit 4, fine. But can we just not have these people that are in the Senate and the House for 50 years? Because they never change.
I've heard some good arguments against term limits. One of them, we had someone on the show. I can't remember who it was. They said, well, I think maybe it was Sean Parnell. I can't remember. They said, but you need people who are going to get in and who are going to sit on committees and gain seniority and have experience. And I'm kind of like, yeah, you can get that in 4 terms, right?
Yeah, you can't. I mean, I'm not saying it has to be 2, but I mean, I'm also saying there's no shortage of people that want to get rich in politics. And most of these people, like you pointed out, are more interested in celebrity, just like reporters are now. Mm-hmm. Did you see that hilarious Mike Pence press conference the other day where the reporters are like screaming at the top? He's left the room. What's going on here? And they're just like, what do you...
My favorite is, I think it's Caitlin Collins of CNN.
Yes.
It's like literally a minute after he's gone. And then everyone stops. And then it's just the last minute. She goes, you're complicit in ruining democracy, or like something like
Follow
that. It's
me
like,
on Twitter.
follow-
Yeah.
dude, that was one of the funniest videos ever.
She's my
Mike
favorite.
Pence is like, goodbye, and then they all start just yelling, rabble, rabble, rabble.
Yeah.
Pence is gone, and they're like, it's like that shows. You know, I said about that. That was their death rattle.
Yep. Yeah.
It was then, when people are dying, death rattles, the spit and everything in their throat, the gases are escaping, so they go.
It's lovely.
That's what it was. Without Trump, they're done.
Well, do you think anyone's gonna give a crap about Jim Acosta now?
Oh, he's over.
He's gonna write a book.
Dear Diary.
He's gonna write a book.
Well, he did write a book.
Oh, well, he'll write another one about how he was solely responsible for Trump getting losing the election, and then that'll be
good
it.
journalism like us.
Yeah. Right. We fight the power. We're really hard hitting stuff.
I don't know. They might go after Biden.
No way.
You don't think so?
No way.
No?
No. Dude, come on. I mean, look. I think we were talking about this before. Probably most people would secretly agree. CNN really, the bean counters at CNN wanted Trump to win.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
There's no doubt
Definitely.
about it, and they are going to suffer ratings.
Oh, they're done. AT&T is reportedly wants to sell them.
Yeah, right. Because
They're
they know
like,
they
quick,
peaked.
Get rid of it. Get rid of it quick before we lose
Hot
value.
potato.
Yeah, I was watching. I think it was
Seriously?
There was on Market Watch, so it was like a non-political financial site, and they're like, ATT's buried in debt. CNN is at its all-time high, but don't you think a buyer would know that? Like a
Right.
buyer's like, I'm not buying this thing. You know?
You
what I
mean you milked Trump for 4 years, and now that he's on the way out, you want to offload that?
Crazy.
No way.
Wait till they have to report every new coup passing on Joe Biden. See how that goes for their. Oh well, you think they'll lose the tickers? That's how my local.
Yeah.
It's like on the side they have like 234,000 deaths, and you'll see it go boop like 235,
Yeah.
and you can just see them like, oh yeah, they're
ghoulish.
getting all like
Whoa.
excited. Yeah.
Wait 2 quarters. We'll see what happens with Trump, but that's the other news. So Trump tweeted this out.
Oh.
Trump tweeted, "I want to thank Emily Murphy at GSA for her steadfast dedication and loyalty to our country. She has been harassed, threatened, and abused, and I do not want to see this happen to her, her family, or employees of the GSA. Our case strongly continues. We will keep up the good fight, and I believe we will prevail. Nevertheless, in the best interest of our country, I am recommending that Emily and her team do what needs to be done with regard to initial protocols, and have told my team to do the same." So Trump has opened up transition. It strongly suggests that Trump is nearing the end of his legal battle in terms of like viable paths. There is still some litigation, and we're going to be doing a big show on it tomorrow night. So I'm not going to say outright right now. Like, I know the media wants everyone to say, just admit it, it's over.
Yeah.
I mean, this is as close as we've been. Trump is not doing well.
That's
but
as close as you're going to get to a concession from Trump.
I think so.
His concession speech goes something like this. Well, I love this country, and a deeply flawed voting system costs me, and he may be right, but he's not going to come out and concede. That's not Trump's game.
No, he's going to be like, I won this election.
Right.
I won.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
Joe Biden is stealing it, and I have no choice. Something like that.
Right. I'll see you in 2024.
Right,
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
But-
oh God, please.
Yes.
Like when if he on his way out the door is just like we were talking about, pardon Assange,
Oh, yeah.
pardon Snowden.
Yeah.
Declassify Area 51.
Yes.
and then just say you're running in 2024.
Stick it in their eye.
Yeah.
Even if he doesn't plan on
Yes.
it, be like, I'm coming back, and just
No,
they'll
no, no.
seethe for years.
Trump needs to say he's retiring completely and then just go silent for a month. You know why? Every one of these fake news outlets, these media companies,
They're gone.
will be
Oh, that's a
gone.
good point.
And then he comes
Yeah,
back.
with his own news network.
I'm back, baby.
Yes.
Trump TV. I'll Trump all 24 hours.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
And then all these other media outlets are sold, and they laid everybody off, and it's over.
Yeah.
Dude, the founders of Vox, there's 3. 2 of them left already.
They cashed
know
out. They
that-
cashed
yeah,
out. Yeah, they're not doing
This is-
fine. They're doing just fine, but they cashed out.
This
Yeah.
was them slapping the slots max bet. And then finally, they, once they were like, okay, I'm
Yeah,
out.
yeah.
We're gonna get our coupon and go
Yeah.
to the lady at the counter and get my money and leave.
Yep. And
Dude.
then that's exactly what's going to happen to a lot of the mainstream media. You're going to see a lot of consolidation, especially on the mid-tier stuff. I mean, if you look at, I'll even a lot of, I don't watch ratings on mainstream television because, no offense, Lydia, but like both people at this table get more views a day than CNN. So like, I don't even
On TV.
Right. Well, I'm saying like their
Yeah.
their average viewership's a couple 100,000.
Yeah.
No. CNN's like this is the thing. CNN and MSNBC in the past couple of months they've taken the Trump sponge and squeezed it until it
Yeah.
turned to dust.
Okay.
So their ratings did really, really improve for sure.
Okay, close.
Yeah.
Close. Combined, we got him beat probably. I mean, Tucker was getting, what, 2 million viewers?
5 million.
Yeah.
Until
All right, I was wrong.
until
I think.
Fox News turned
Yeah.
on the Trump legal
Poor
battle.
Tucker.
Well, when they
Yeah.
first, it started when they not poor Tucker. Tucker was being petulant about not getting Sidney Powell, I believe.
Yeah.
And when Fox News called Arizona. Now, to be fair, correctly, at least right now, that rubbed a lot of people the wrong way because it
no one else
appeared in
did.
play. No one else did it. It appeared in play at the time. That pissed people off. Then Tucker, I feel like he got a little salty that she was going
wasn't-
on Newsmax and
and
she
she-
wasn't
right.
giving. And look, she didn't owe him. Let's say hypothetically she had the silver bullet. She's not going on Tucker Carlson to give him the evidence. That's for the courts.
Well, apparently she did. She said she did. She said she sent him an affidavit and offered a mathematical expert who can talk about some of the other data that they've pulled up.
Oh, okay.
And I guess Tucker said that never happened. So who do you
What
trust?
about that? What about that USB drive of all that evidence? That whatever happened to that? Weren't people asking about that?
I don't know.
Remember, it was like he received the package and it was open and had all
that's
this
right.
evidence.
Yeah.
What
What
happened to
was
that?
that?
I don't know.
know.
But
That was the Hunter Biden thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. What up? What was that, Tucker? What is
Yeah,
this?
it just
he was
disappeared.
like, he's like, our courier, our documents went missing, and it's like, did you didn't just email him?
was it the only copy?
Why was
Yeah,
it?
well, it seems
listen.
insecure.
I'm familiar with operation security and how to transmit information and sensitive data and stuff. I would not send my USB of sensitive information
Of
with
course
some
not.
over. What do you do? UPS, right?
Yes,
No,
like that.
USPS. I think it went to US.
No. I think it was UPS.
Was it UPS?
Yeah,
They had
'cause if
to-
it was-
they did an investigation, I think.
Yeah, and they found it on the floor or whatever.
Yeah,
Wait.
right.
Hold on a minute, dude.
Yeah.
Super secure.
You've got super top secret documents, all of your evidence on Hunter Biden. You put it on a USB, put it in a package, and mailed it out through through UPS. You wait, what? Why did you just email them?
Well, on top
How
of
big
that,
were the
if you could-
documents? What?
if you were going to do even that, you hire a courier so that it's like direct point-to-point
Right.
courier. Or like you said, there's a million secure file transfer websites that,
Yeah.
you know, what I mean? Like, what are you doing?
That doesn't make that. And then when he was like, we did find them, and now we're dropping the story because we shouldn't be going after people's children.
It's
Like, dude.
Yeah, morally
So-
grandstanding after. There are a lot of people that believe that he got. That he, maybe somebody was like, hey, this isn't it. But Tucker is Fox. He pretty
He is
much
now.
Yeah.
Yeah,
he pretty
Hannity
much-
was for a long time.
Hannity was for a long time. Before him, it was who's the super right wing guy?
Bill O'Reilly.
Bill O'Reilly. Yeah.
But then he didn't know how the moon
no,
like
he didn't
affected the
understand.
tides.
Yeah,
That was funny.
Bill. Yeah,
Isn't it a really crazy evolution? Like from Bill O'Reilly to be like, sun goes up, sun goes down. You can't explain that.
no, can't. It's magic.
And the
just
guy,
like magnets.
The guy in his show was
Yeah.
like, we
How do they
explained that
work?
500 years ago. But then you get Tucker, who's like not, dumb and
no, he's
guy.
smart.
And,
Yeah, he's smart.
But
Yeah.
then, this Hunter Biden thing was weird. And then so is the Sidney Powell thing. Is weird.
Yeah, that was uncharacteristic of him. The Hunter thing was really bizarre because the left wing media has zero problems going after Don Jr. or Ivanka Trump.
Right.
They have zero problems with that. So, and what about this dude who's getting foot jobs while smoking?
Dude.
He's
What
Got a
the
crack
heck?
pipe in his mouth.
Yeah, and he's got like allegedly there's some Chinese money.
Listen. Here's a guy who we got a photo of him with a crack pipe in his mouth and like explicit videos. And then when they call it for Joe Biden, there's Hunter right there on stage with his dad. And it's like, dude, whoa, man.
Yeah.
Like, we just saw photos of this guy, and you're going to act like none of that happened. Everything's okay. This is the creepiest time.
What about the email that the guy literally thanked him for connecting him with his dad? And they're just like, well, there's no smoking guns, sir. Whoa. Oh, are you saying the email was fake?
Okay,
You know Michael Malice?
Yeah.
I got to quote
He
this
was
guy
out-
too much
yeah.
because he's a smart guy, huh? He said he thinks that some very bad people got data on how much people are willing to accept.
Yep. I'd agree with that.
Think about
Yeah.
the sheer audacity of everything that's been happening with like Hunter Biden, and now with all of the messed up irregularities and literal evidence of voter fraud. I'm not saying widespread, but there is literal evidence of sworn affidavits.
We know what happened. Yeah.
And it's all being ignored, and we're told to shut up. And it's
What are you
like
supposed to do?
73 million people voted for Donald Trump. I could be wrong about this, but I believe he's the first president to lose re-election but gain votes.
Can you? I can't live in a world where I have to accept that Joe Biden got significantly more votes than Barack Obama.
That's crazy.
Yeah, no, I can't buy it.
And Trump.
People freaking loved
He was a celebrity.
Obama.
He was.
But
Yeah.
in 2008. In 2012, he
People
lost
liked
like
him.
4
Yeah,
or 5
people
million
disliked
votes.
him then, yeah.
I think Obama was the first to lose votes and win re-election. Like typically when people won
Well, he was
re-election,
running
they gained.
against. I mean, that was an
Romney?
easy dub for him. Yeah.
Yeah.
Who's voting for Mitt? And by the way,
Voting
Mitt,
against Mitt Romney is like voting against like a mannequin.
Yeah,
Running-
well,
running
and he
against
was
a
like a
mannequin.
super rich trust fund kid. He was like Republican.txt.
Yeah.
I hated him. And he's also a total turncoat too. He's like, man, we should prosecute Trump and blah blah blah. Like, get out of here, Mitt.
You think they're going to try and lock Trump up?
No, just like he never locked up Hillary either. Unfortunately,
I was thinking that's my main line of thinking.
nobody
but
prosecutes. It's not happening.
But the way I put it, but think about how insane they are. Like maybe Joe Biden won't. Joe Biden said he won't do it. But I'm like, I always felt like the chance that Trump would actually lock up Hillary was 0.
I knew it was 0-2. Yeah,
But-
it was funny. It was a good meme.
Right.
Yeah.
I kind of feel like the probability that the left tries to lock up Trump is greater than 0.
Yeah.
Maybe it's 1%. Maybe it's 2.
They try. If you just try, then I'd even it might
You
be
know what
10
it
or
is?
20%.
When Donald Trump won, and then he was doing a rally, he was like, "No, we're not gonna lock her up. That was fun, but
It was only a big campaign slogan of mine for
Lock her
6
up.
months, but yeah.
but Trump's supporters were like, "You got it, Trump. We trust you. Whatever you say."
Yeah.
Now Joe Biden wins, and he's like, "Turn it on, shop repression." And so the
Trish,
left
can you say
goes-
it? Can either one of you say
Yeah.
it?
He can say it.
How do you say it?
Trunanana.
Now we can't say
I'm trying to say it fast.
Yeah.
Truanana Shabbat pressure.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh,
True-
truer
it's-
words
it's
have never been
true.
spoken. Yeah.
Truanana Shabbat pressure.
Yes.
Yeah.
And Badakaf care.
Yes.
So he's gonna he's gonna mutter and mumble, and the left is gonna be screaming and banging on walls and just like shaking tables and vomiting all over themselves, demanding Trump be arrested.
There's going to be a section of the left that still, the same people that didn't get over the 2016 election, they won't get over Trump. They're still going to screech about him every time he tweets. This is why I think Twitter actually won't ban him.
Right.
Because they need Twitter people made careers as Trump reply guys.
Yup.
And
Dude,
like,
I know people who made money. It's crazy.
Yeah.
But they destroyed their careers.
well,
So-
yeah, you have no credibility left.
Yep.
Yeah.
I knew a guy who was actually a producer for some big news outlets.
Yeah.
And we were friends. And then I saw him just replying to Trump saying really dumb things. I messaged him and I was like, "Yo, dude, you gotta stop doing this. Listen, man. Like, if you want to tweet, talk smack about Trump, call him out, be a quote guy.
Right.
Quote tweet and then say like, here's the source, fact check. But just replying with these stupid hot takes.
It's
don't-
so cringe, dude.
And he gained like 100,000 followers.
Sure.
Was
Who will all
super excited.
Who will all abandon him?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
The moment he stopped doing Trump reply hot takes and tried doing serious stuff, people started smack talking him. They
Right.
started ignoring, unfollowing. And now, not only has he lost the reply guy grift, now he can't get hired anywhere because they make fun of him. They're like, "You're that guy. You're that guy. Oh,
Yeah.
dude, we can't hire you. Are you
Yeah.
nuts? You have no credibility."
Yeah, that was a funny existence. I always thought that like replying directly to President Trump was a admittance that you have TDS. Like TDS one way or the other. We talked about like
Exactly.
there are TDS people that are like super like Trump can do no wrong.
Pro
But that's
Trump,
that's got to have a different name.
They're still deranged.
Sycophant syndrome?
Yeah.
TSS?
Yeah.
TSS.
Toxic shock syndrome.
I don't know.
Oh yeah, let's not.
That's a
Yeah,
little
we don't
bit
got
different.
that.
I
Yeah.
think sycophant implies a higher level of understanding what you're doing.
Okay.
So this
Yeah.
is more
Trump
like
zombie
Trump
syndrome?
drone syndrome?
Yes. Yes.
Zombie?
Hey.
Drones, zombies. Yeah.
Yeah.
Trump drone syndrome.
Well, there are them, and they exist, but like, I would see people reply like every time I see people that I follow who shall remain unnamed, like replying directly to Trump, and I'm like,
No.
you know, like,
But look, I think it's fair to say that there is if you take all of Trump's voters, 73 million, there is a small fraction, maybe
is that
a
the
million.
second most votes ever?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yep.
right.
So it's the most votes for any sitting president in an election,
Yeah.
and it's the second most for any candidate. So I think out of the 73 million, you maybe have a million that are the Trump drone, like
Yeah.
Trump can do no wrong, he's always perfect, he's always the best. But most of his voters are probably like, well, Trump's got problems here and there. Because
Yeah.
I do these, like when I do videos and I talk about what's going on, the ultra diehard Trumpers are like, they're really mad at me. They're like
I've
posting
seen
memes
them.
and they're making fun of me. But I get DMs from people who are like, yeah, man, I think you're totally right. Some high profile and just like regular run-of-the-mill Trump supporters. And they'll say straight up like, I think you're right about what's going on. So here's the point. Trump supporters, mostly regular people, but of the people who voted for Biden, I would say the overwhelming majority are Trump derangement syndrome.
Well, a good chunk of them, and like union guys, straight blue guys are there. You know,
No, I don't think they voted for Biden.
my dad did. And
Wow.
my
Wow.
dad is a machinist, a union guy.
In Wisconsin?
Yeah.
Wow. Does he know anything about Biden?
No.
He doesn't know anything about
He's just blue.
Trans-Pacific
He's
Partnership?
blue.
His job's going to be gone in a week.
He retired last year.
Yeah, so he doesn't care, I guess.
Oh,
Yeah.
him, yeah.
And he, you know, I don't get political with my family. There's no point. You've literally nothing to gain. But like, there are guys like him out there.
Yep.
He's like, yeah, I'm like, Dad, have you ever voted red? Nope. Like, really? You voted for who ran against Bush Jr.?
Gore?
Gore. Yeah. Like, you voted for Al Gore?
Did he vote for Dukakis?
He voted. If it's look, he was born in
Mondale?
every blue candidate since 1970. He's voted for,
Holy moly.
and like, look, it's my dad. Whatever, you know. What I mean, like, I love him, but I mean, people like that exist where they're like, punch that blue,
Yeah.
but vote the party, and
Yeah, that's true.
Vote blue no matter who.
yeah. Well, one group of Biden voters that I think Biden got that Hillary lost were disaffected Bernie bros. I think that disaffected Bernie bros broke for Biden more than they broke for Hillary. I think when Bernie got screwed the first time, they just didn't vote. This time they're like, okay, we'll just vote for.
How old are you?
37.
37. So we had Vosh on, and
Yeah.
I think he's like 26,
He's
right?
26, yeah.
So
Surprised.
during Occupy Wall Street, when hundreds of thousands of people took to the street to protest Barack Obama for a variety of reasons, and Joe Biden as his VP, Vosh was 16. And so he's here and he's arguing in defense of Joe Biden. And I think I mentioned this, and I can't remember if it was part of the conversation. We talked for like 4 hours. And I said, Occupy Wall Street was a protest organized against the federal government in 2011, 3 years into Barack Obama's presidency and Joe Biden. And they were talking about the bailouts being bad in the big banks, and they opposed the wars and the drone bombs and all of that stuff. Why would you vote these people back in? He was 16. He didn't know anything about that.
Yeah,
I'm not saying that to be disrespectful. I'm saying quite literally you had people who were 10 years old.
Yeah. You're right.
And now they're 20, and they're like, yay, 78-year-old, neo-lib, bankster, corporate warmonger.
I think he probably relates to Joe Biden because they both like him young, I think, right?
I believe so, yes.
But I think,
burn.
it's funny because, without getting a little too off topic, but it's funny that like when you realize you're kind of old, like I'm closer to 40 than I'm 30, and I still feel like I'm 20, except for when I get up in the morning. Or sometimes when I have to get up now in the middle of the night to pee. That's a new thing in the late 30s. I never had to do that.
I've been skateboarding since I was 13. And it's really weird because I'm 34 now and I still skate. And I hear the stories of people saying like, man, once you get in your 30s, I'm like, dude, I feel literally the same. Maybe it's because I'm part Asian. We got that like, we look
There's
younger.
something there, yeah.
I don't know.
Are you on that? Did Alex give you some of those pills?
What is that stuff he has?
Super male vitality.
No. I don't even like taking aspirins for headaches. I don't like I drink water and, maybe I eat too much combos.
Well, you eat like a 16-year-old. Since I've been here.
Temple
exposed. Temple exposed.
No, don't do it.
Temple exposed.
Here's what I've seen him eat since I've been here: a handful of combos and a fruit roll-up.
Yeah. You got fruit roll-ups. What's wrong with
I'm
that?
just saying. Yeah.
What's wrong with that?
I did eat that weird. I ate that weird healthy vegan pizza thing. It wasn't bad. It wasn't bad.
Vegan pizza.
Yeah, it was okay.
See, we eat vegan pizza here.
Yeah.
I had slow cooked pulled chicken for dinner.
On a
I
wrap.
heard.
Very
Yeah,
healthy.
I heard.
Very healthy.
Yeah.
With some cheese.
Guacamole.
Very normal.
Yeah.
But what were we talking about?
I heard you like to
before?
cook now. Is that?
No, not really. I mean, I have breakfast. I don't know. I put eggs and bacon. That's not.
Oh, okay.
What were we talking about before you decided? Oh, yeah. Something about
Got him
being,
off track, boys.
being old and young people not understanding what they just voted for. I can't believe. I was just so surprised. All these progressives are like, we have to vote for Joe Biden. I'm like, why?
What happened to progressives who were 18 when I knew them? They would never have voted for an establishment Democrat.
Yeah, that's so weird.
That never would have happened.
It's crazy to me that all of these Occupy people were split in the middle. Between some of them, a bunch of them are Trump supporters. That makes sense to me. Trump opposed these free trade agreements. Mm-hmm. Trump was basically a bull crash in the cathedral. Mm-hmm. But these Occupy style people who are pro Biden, and I'm like, I see them.
They weren't pro Biden. They were anybody but Trump.
Yes.
I think
Why?
But here's the thing, though. I think that what happened in 2020 was very similar to what happened in 2016, that there were an absolute ton of anybody but Hillary's.
Yeah.
Which is why Trump won some of those states that, were like Wisconsin,
By thin
for example.
margins,
People in Wisconsin weren't voting for Hillary Clinton.
Right.
That wasn't happening. So when you get like your status quo old white guy, then all of a sudden they're like, oh, okay. Yeah.
Joe Biden's chance, he's like, my only chance to actually win, because he's tried, like 3 times?
He's, yeah.
But man, the media, they battered Trump up for years, just getting anything they could out of him. What's going to happen? That's why I'm saying Trump should go totally dark. I mean, he has been for the most part.
He basically has. He's kind of chilled out this week.
But they've got all the lawsuits to report on. Mm-hmm. So imagine if Joe Biden's inaugurated, Trump just nothing. Not a word.
He just fades off into obscurity again after declassifying Area 51 files because we need to know.
We do.
But yeah, I mean, they would crumble, and it wouldn't take
panic.
long. It wouldn't take long.
No, they would first they would write, Trump hasn't tweeted all day, something must be up.
Yeah.
The next day they'll write, it's been 2 days.
Yeah.
Then everyone will be like, then you'll get a theme where they'll be like, it's acceptable to write about because everyone's asking questions.
Yep.
And then it's like 1 week on, where is Donald Trump? And they'll say, we all know he's the most racist and vile bigot, but now he's going dark. Is this part of a secret plot? Trump's going to be sitting on a beach, sipping a pina colada or whatever, minding his own
Diet
business.
Coke.
Diet
Yeah,
Coke.
Diet
right?
Coke,
Yeah.
Well, my thing is they're still going to go after Trump supporters.
Yeah,
That's still going to be.
Trumpism.
Yeah, they're still going to go. They're still going to go after because you see it in Hollywood. Some of the worst, vile, garbage humans on the planet, in my opinion, saying, like, I'm still disappointed that 71 million Americans are racist. 73 million.
Yeah.
Sorry, like you got
There's
like
more.
Colbert up there. Then you get all these. Then you get like these.
Colbert's dumb.
They're all dumb. The
Yeah.
like
They're so dumb. They don't even do anything.
well, they're
Totally true, though.
well, like, okay, well, allow me to. I know this probably isn't like this isn't going to get you in trouble, but nothing grinds my gears more than these Brits or like foreigners coming over here and getting late night show hosts and getting rich, dumping on America. You got Trevor Noah, you got James Corden, you got all these people. John Oliver. Oh, I shed a tear. I was so powerful to be able to vote.
Well, he's an American citizen now, I'm pretty sure.
I know he voted. Yeah, but
Yeah.
he made like a big deal about it. I'm like, dude, the only reason you're popular is because you're just another vehicle to deliver that mainline TDS that the far left audience needs.
We have our pro-Trump Brits and Canadians. We got
We do.
our Paul
Piers-
Joseph Watsons and
Piers Morgan, I think,
Yeah.
right?
yeah, but he's kind of in the middle. He
he goes both ways.
yeah, he was. It's really weird too.
But these guys aren't hosting television shows. Well,
Right.
Piers is, but
he's in the UK, and so if you're in the UK and you're writing articles about Trump, that's fine.
Yeah.
And to be fair, Paul Joseph Watson doing a YouTube show where he talks about everything from modern art,
Yeah.
culture to stuff like Trump, I think is fair as well. When you are not American and you come here and host a show where you tell Americans what to think, I'm kind of like, bro, you don't know.
Is Trevor
Now-
Noah American?
no, South African.
South African.
Is,
Yeah.
no, but he got American citizenship,
Yeah, I
didn't
don't
he?
know.
Yeah, of course he did. So
I'm-
he could
I'm
vote for
fine with
Biden.
that,
Of
actually.
course,
Yeah.
totally fine with it.
I mean, literally, if they're not, if people who
Right.
aren't citizens who are commenting.
Oh,
Citizen,
okay.
sure.
Well, I'm just saying it grates me a little bit when a guy comes from a country where like white farmers are being massacred, talking about how America's so bad. Maybe talk about some things that are bad. On both sides of the aisle. These guys are so partisan that
Look,
at least John Oliver was John Stewart. He was
Yeah.
definitely left, but he would also like. It wasn't so bad.
Thoughtful.
He wasn't so like lazy and like, oh, his hands are small kind of jokes.
yeah. My issue is predominantly we have it's not so much the late night host necessarily. I'm not a fan of John Oliver because I think he's plastic and formulaic.
Yeah.
It's like every single joke is the same, and it's
Yeah.
kind of like
Yeah.
And especially now that they're doing it from home and there's no fake laugh track. It's actually kind of it's like a horror movie.
Remember the first like month when they all tried to do their show on YouTube? It was just the
don't know how to
Kimmel
do
was
it.
like trying to pause for a laugh, and there's just nothing, and it's like.
But what I don't understand is like Trevor Noah does his show from like this weird corner of his room or whatever.
Yeah.
It's like, dude, I'm in my house right now. Look, we've got paintings.
We're
We've got like
adults,
we
Yeah.
did the walls up all nice with like this vinyl.
Yeah, check it out.
Well, and these
What-
dudes
what?
have real money. Like
do,
they
yeah.
have like wealth.
Let's fake
know what I mean?
authenticity. Like we're at home with you.
I'm just like you. Yeah, look, I haven't cut my hair.
But they still
so
the crazy.
strange.
You know what the crazy thing is, like when you do your segments, you don't script anything, do you?
No.
Yeah. That's like the real political commentary on YouTube. Most of the bigger channels, or I should say the like political commentary channels that are original, authentic, not scripted.
Yeah, there's a couple of like video essay guys out there and gals that do a good job, but most of it is pretty off the cuff, And I think.
But then you look at Samantha Bee and John Oliver and Trevor Noah.
I'd rather not.
No thanks. Yeah, I'm good.
Samantha Bee is hard.
She's the worst.
Hard to look at.
Did you see her tweet? The AP tweeted out, tomorrow's International Men's Day, and she's like, "Oh, what a great day to stay inside because men suck."
She's just
boring.
the worst.
Hardy har.
That's the thing, right? It's like, right now, I've always been, middle of the road for the most part. During Occupy Wall Street, the left loved me.
Yeah.
Because I was like showing what was going on, and the cops were shoving people and hitting people. And then, I had a bunch of right wingers always saying like, F you, Occupy, you blah, blah, blah. Then when the Trump stuff happened and I'm like, oh, the media's lying about this. All these Trump people are like, oh, wow, Tim's so great. And the left is like, Tim's a grifter. Rah.
Well, isn't it funny how like you can remain the same, but who's in power changes. So therefore the perceived allegiance changes.
The funny thing now is I have Trump supporters calling me a grifter. And I have leftists saying, "Oh, well, Tim's finally coming to his senses," and I'm like, "No, you're all like the tribalism is dumb. If it's true, and I'm just gonna say what I think." But I said this is gonna happen. I was like, if it goes bad for Trump, and I start reporting on it, then I know the right's gonna get mad at me.
Yep.
The reality though is most moderates, like the regular people from Occupy, actually became Trump supporters and always have followed me. And then the moderate conservative types who are seeing the same thing are DMing me saying like, I think you're right about what's going on and stuff like that. It's just always the hard like Antifa types in the far left are like, Tim's a traitor. And now the right is like, Tim's turned his back on Trump.
Yeah, well, you know this. Like, look, yes, the Tim Pool is a fence sitter meme is true. It's in fact, I asked people, what's the number one thing you want me to ask Tim about? First of all, was why you were so easy on Vouch and so hard on Alex. The second one was in the
I asked that's not even true. I was yelling at Vouch.
I couldn't watch it because just looking at him, he looked dirty, and I hope that this. Actually, it's not fair to take shots. He's not here, but
we were yelling, like we were exchanging words, and then we'd like simmer down, and then we'd be calm, and then I'd start yelling. We did that for like 4 hours with Alex.
I thought you were pretty rough on Alex.
But you
had him on a short leash, I should say. I'll say that. I think he was on a really short leash. But as also a fellow content creator, I can totally understand why. I brought him on. He could say whatever he wanted. Not really.
Like what do you mean?
Well, I'm just saying like he can't say whatever he wants.
That's on him though. I told him he can talk about what he wants to talk about. I'm not going to tell him what to say.
Right.
I'm going to disagree. I think people might not understand that like I probably don't agree with him on a lot of things.
You and Alex. Yeah.
But I'll tell you this, when they pulled the episode, I immediately said to Alex and Michael, come back on the show. We're doing it again.
He was pissed. And then it seems like it simmered down, right? Alex was pretty salty about it.
I talked to him right away when they pulled it down.
Yeah.
Because when what happened with Alex Jones was that he made a comment about firing squads.
Yeah.
And
don't repeat it.
No. I thought he said something about it.
It was but not an actual thing.
It was a sarcastic,
sarcastic
call for
misheard.
So, but everyone here after the show, like we all kind of thought
you figured that they're gonna get you.
No,
somebody from YouTube was watching it, guaranteed.
For sure.
Yeah.
Like it was only after the show that Alex said that's not what I said, and then I was like, because after the show,
you guys reacted immediately. When he,
Tim
both
immediately
you and
was
Mike,
like, no.
and Mike even reacted.
Yes, I mean both of you.
So we all kind of thought that he said something that he shouldn't have said.
Yeah.
And then I immediately contacted YouTube and said, "Yo, this is a mistake." They said, "We'll get back to you." I emailed them again. Said, "We'll get back to you."
But we'll get back to you.
In the meantime, I said, open invite for Alex to come back on the show.
He said he would come back as far as.
But he's got a family and he's got his own job, and
right.
So we ended up having Michael back, and I don't, Alex owes me no favors.
Right.
I just wanted to make sure, like, when YouTube pulled the show, people were like, oh, Tim's not going to fight back or whatever. I'm like, dude, I come back on the show.
Why wouldn't you? It'd be one of the most popular Timcasts ever. Why would you not want to have that on?
But I'm not even worried about it.
I know you don't care. Just let me pretend you care.
Everyone would love to see Alex again.
Yeah. I feel like I have my lines. I have my boundaries. If it's arbitrary and a waste of time and energy that can get me banned, then I wouldn't do it, like saying certain names or whatever. But if it's an issue of doing an interview and having a conversation with a guy who's been maligned for the most part, then I absolutely will be like, no, come back. That's BS. And then we would literally bring up, that's not true. That was a mistake. YouTube amended their statement. They basically said at first he made a comment about wanting a thing for a specific guy.
Yep.
Once
I remember.
we realized that wasn't true, they issued a public statement saying he just made a blanket statement about executions.
Yeah, but
Like, you can't-
wasn't he like saying as a metaphor? Didn't he mean like these?
Well, that's what he's. So all I can say is what he said
No,
definitively.
I don't want to. Yeah.
Well, I'm not gonna repeat it, but he said I agree with Bill Gates about a specific thing.
Yeah, right.
And then he on his show said it was a metaphor for vaccines or whatever.
Right. That's how but I understand how it was perceived. Right.
It's not about. It's well, I didn't. We thought he said something different.
Yeah.
So-
Well, he talks fast.
And
He
but the
does.
issue is that
Yeah.
YouTube is sitting there shaking with their finger over
Right.
the ban,
Yes.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
say it.
Yeah.
Oh, he did it! Oh, and they slam
3
the button.
hours and you only had 1 second of a slip up.
Yeah.
That's pretty incredible. I mean, I thought at least they would like tell you, all right, bro, just delete it. But we both know that's not how communicating with. What most people don't know is even Tim with his 700 or 800 gold play buttons that are outside.
Yeah, that's true.
He doesn't even actually bricks in the backyard. It's just these gold play buttons.
The whole
face down.
house is just layered.
Yeah.
The
gold,
fence
gold
is
play buttons.
gold play buttons.
He has a bunker downstairs that's lined with them, but they don't care about you. Like
No,
they
I know.
cared about that episode, but like even having a million. I said this to people all the time. I'm like, I have I'm just not as many as Tim. But I'm like, people are like, bro, can you just help out? Can you get email YouTube to help out? No.
No, I can't. Yeah.
I have 950,000
Right.
subscribers after tonight. After all of you subscribe, almost 1 million.
Woo.
But they don't give a shit about me.
I remember.
I can't call anybody.
I remember PewDiePie complaining about this. Y'all
Yeah.
know who PewDiePie is? 'Cause
I've
I used
heard
to
of
like
him.
watching him.
Yeah,
he
I heard of him.
he's the #1 YouTuber, and he's
I-
complaining constantly about them.
Yeah.
I can send an email.
Ethan can call.
I can get. I have a double review process. So if a video gets demonetized, I submit it for review, and then if they confirm it, I can submit it again manually.
Oh, I don't get
directly
that.
to Google.
That's some.
See,
that's the
Fancy.
tinfoil stock.
you want to
yeah.
know exactly what it is? It's that I am a traditional liberal, fed up with the Democrats and the left going nuts, like many liberals who have found themselves questioning what the Democrats are doing and realizing that they're out of it and Trump is the best bet. Thus, YouTube is essentially the way to describe it is there's like the Overton window, but imagine a wheel, right? A half wheel. And then you've got far right, center, left, and far left. They want the wheel to rotate.
Right.
And then what happens is when they ban a right-wing YouTuber, it makes Tim Pool liberal become Tim Pool centrist.
Right.
Then when they rotate the wheel again, Tim Pool centrist becomes Tim Pool right-wing. But what they
Far
want...
right wing.
No, eventually.
Yeah.
What they want is all of those people...
Goals for Tim.
They want all of those people who are on YouTube and users not to leave. So
Right,
they're like, we
right.
need to make sure we have a liberal that they'll watch.
Yeah.
And so not every conservative likes me, but YouTube promotes, and they've taken my channels off the blacklist. That's surprising. So they're
Yeah.
clearly watching.
Well, I've talked about here's some inside baseball. That's fun for people because all those people out there love to hear about YouTube analytics. But there is a very real thing that channels can go under review. I've got it down. So my channel recently went under review. It's always 23 days. It's happened to me twice this year, and I predicted the exact end of it. And sure enough, so starting like November 1st, I stopped gaining subs for like
Wow.
23 days, and I had been gaining 1,000 to 2,000 every single day for like 3 straight
And it
months.
stopped.
Yeah, stopped, and then 23 days later, which was like last week, started again.
What?
And that happened again back in August. So my guess is they also put channels in this like
Borderline content.
yeah, right. Well, we need a review. We need to, he made a video where he made an edgy joke. So now you're in the.
I have this thing that it pops up from time to time where I can't get monetized right away or demonetized at all. So it'll say pending review.
Oh, mine always say that every time.
Yeah. And then I can't challenge it. I can't do anything until 20 minutes or half an hour later.
Sometimes it takes hours. This
Yeah.
past week it's been very slow. By the way, did you get a strike?
For Alex Jones, we
Yeah.
got a warning.
Yeah, I
So
burned
if
up
we-
my warning too. So now you have no more warnings.
And that means if we get another strike, we can't do anything for 2 weeks. The good news is,
2-week vacation?
no,
it's not a
well,
I
vacation.
know.
Well, I asked them because there's a circumvention rule
Yeah.
where if your channel gets a strike and you can't upload to another channel.
Oh, is that true?
Yeah, but I was told specifically if you already have different channels that do different things,
Okay.
it doesn't apply to you.
Well, hopefully everyone will just be really generous in the super chats tonight to, just in case you ever get a a day off or something like that. By the way,
I took a day off a couple weeks ago, like after the election, because I was like,
how'd that feel?
meh. I rode my bike 32 miles.
That's not a day off.
It was
Right?
brutal. It was
That's what I said.
it was intense. My legs were
These
like
roads are
Insanity.
dangerous out here.
No, it was the trails. Yeah, it was it was trail. So yeah, I guess it wasn't a day off.
Let me ask you about
Really
this.
wasn't. No.
Here's something that I think that people might want to know as I take over the interview here.
Do it.
Here's something I often try to describe to people that you must feel even more than I do. The golden handcuffs of YouTube, right? Like, if you take a day off, like for guys like us, who the video is relevant for 24 hours for
Right.
the most
Yeah.
part.
Yep.
So if you take a day off, you make zero money. There's not a lot of carryover.
Little bit.
A little bit, yeah, but
you're like doing videos every day, you'll see like you'll make like 20% of your revenue is from the previous day.
right, it'll carry over in the morning. But
But
like,
2 or 3 days off, and then you're down to nothing.
yeah, how do you? Because I haven't figured it out yet. I'm just working every day. Do you
Yeah.
take Sundays off?
No,
Yeah, I do. I don't take Sundays off, but I film for Monday.
no, I work.
How long is
every,
this sustainable?
Probably until I just die, I guess. Until,
Right?
at a very young age, my heart explodes in the middle of the show.
Right,
Not allowed. I don't
yeah.
do CPR.
My eyes like just start bugging out in one show. I'm like,
Ho-
wow.
I hope it's on a live stream because that would just be the
Well,
way to
we're
go.
about to launch another show.
Why not? I mean, who needs sleep?
So here's how it works.
No one.
I wake up at about 7 a.m.
Yeah,
and then I immediately pick up my phone and I start going through
Yep.
notifications and messages and emails, reading Twitter. Then I get up and I go about the quick morning routine.
because you
Shower.
do 3 a.m. on Timcast, right? Normally
Well, so I do 3 at 6, 6:15, 6:15, and 6:30
a.m.
p.m.
or p.m.
I have 10, 1, 4, and then 6, 6:15, 6:30.
Okay.
Those are the shorter segments that are
Yeah.
But
Short for you.
about 10 minutes. They're
Oh,
about
that is super short.
yeah, they're usually about 10 minutes.
Yeah, okay.
And I do that because they're usually stories that don't have much bigger context around them.
Yeah.
So throughout the day, when I'm pulling up all this news, I find stories where it's like, this is actually a big story. And, but I wake up at about 8. I work from 8 to about 4. And
Yeah.
then from 4 until about 6 is exercise and food.
Yep.
And then we start getting ready for this show. So we the guest comes down, we'll hang out, we'll talk, we'll kind of warm up the conversation. And then we do this show until usually around little after 10.
Yeah.
And then I probably fall asleep around 11 or so. You like kind of wind down, figure out where our guest's going to be staying and everything like that. So what we're going to do is that period between 4 and 6 where I'm usually just skating is we're going to hire someone to film a vlog. We're going to do at the house, skating, video games, shenanigans.
Don't you think you need that decompressed time though? You need that time off.
But so here's the thing. Before we start doing this show, you know what we'd be doing right now if the show didn't exist?
Talking about this.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We'd be,
Totally
like,
would.
Yeah.
so what would happen is like I would finish my
embarrassing.
show and then we would be sitting in the game room with like sodas or chips or beer talking about all this crazy stuff. And I was like, why don't we just film it and start a show or whatever?
Yeah. Why not work?
it
Who
is-
can? Why would I? Why would
take
I not
time
be
off?
working right
Be
now?
working.
But it becomes an obligation and
Right.
that changes everything.
Right.
And
It's
so
not
now-
fun anymore.
I mean, it is fun.
Well, when
know.
I'm here.
Yeah,
Well, yeah, of
yeah.
course.
No,
Yeah.
you're doing pretty good,
Yeah.
No, but it is fun. It's fun. Like
Thanks,
we just
Tim.
sit down and we hang out. Like we were talking even before this.
Yeah.
And it was like usually we have to tell people like, wait, save it, don't say it.
Yeah,
So we
yeah.
gotta go back up. And we're gonna do the show. And so when I took a day off that one Sunday, I rode my bike. I'm just I get back and I'm lying on a beanbag and I'm like, this is boring.
Yeah.
Like, I want to complain about stuff.
My wife.
Where's my camera?
Yeah, my wife is concerned that I may just die at my desk. Which, by the way, like that's the true dignity. Like
Yeah.
I want to die at my desk.
Work
You know,
hard.
I don't want this like retirement. Sitting around doing nothing. But I do wonder. Like I worry about you because
Me?
I know what it does to me, and I only work 6 days a week, and I don't do a nightly show. But you seem to be holding up all right. I mean, I saw like 40, 60 bottles of Adderall downstairs, so I assume.
Oh, more than that. No.
Way more than
that was just the main.
I had a
yeah.
migraine early. I worked through it. I won't even take an
Nah, he
aspirin.
wouldn't.
Yeah, you
I
were
don't-
griping about that when I got here.
Migraine, was I?
Not really, but
I mentioned. I
I'm
think
just
I
trying to
mentioned,
add
I was
some
like, I got a
spice.
Come on,
Yeah,
Tim.
Yeah.
I'm trying to add some spice.
I was
here.
wailing. Oh,
right. Yeah. Yeah. He was rolling around
Take
on
pills.
the.
My
Yeah.
brain was like, and they give me the pills that give me like modafinil or no Provigil. It's called.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know what that is?
No.
When
Super
it-
migraine stuff.
It makes it so you don't have to sleep.
Oh, cool.
Oh, give me.
Right.
There's one episode of American Dad where they have like this hypothetical CIA pill, and you don't have to see. So like Stan's taking it, and then like his wife finds out, and she gets pissed because he's like up playing Beatman, like video games all night long, and like that would be nice to not sleep.
Then she starts taking them too, and then they just like. Yeah. Like I guess snipers take it, like astronauts take it, because it like you just don't get tired or whatever or something like that.
I can't imagine you can do that long.
Yeah, no.
I think I got it. I planned this all out. I said years ago when I was like, when I started advice, I asked them, I was like, can you get me to the point where I have no free time? And they laughed like, because like I'll tell you, man, they're lazy. Not the higher ups. Those guys work to the bone, but most people were just lazy.
Yeah.
Like sometimes they didn't even show up.
Most people are lazy.
Yeah.
Not just
Why?
vice people.
That's aren't you bored? You know? Don't you want to like build a treehouse? Like jump off a building? I don't know.
I don't know. I just think you're wired different. Like I don't like look down at people who enjoy downtime. I'm not saying you do either, but I don't. I hate downtime. Like we've both played World of Warcraft, right?
No, I don't anymore.
I
but
know.
Shadowlands,
we have.
Shadowlands is
right.
coming out. So,
Shadowlands came out today.
Yeah,
and I was like, oh man, I got a 4-hour layover in Detroit. I'm gonna play. And then instead, what did I do? I bought a webcam and a microphone so I can shoot videos from the airport. Like,
well, so you know what? The thing is, like, one of the challenges now with everything that's going on, because we talked about this a while ago. Like maybe we should do this show as like maybe once or twice a week with special guests instead of just trying to do something every day.
Yeah.
But with the COVID lockdown, this is one of the few industries that's surviving. And so
thriving, not just surviving.
I know,
yeah.
And now the lockdown's getting 10 times worse. Well, but there is this issue with the lockdowns. When the lockdowns first happened, revenue plummeted by like 60-70%.
Yep.
Because a lot of the ads that come through are small businesses.
Yep.
So if you live in...
Views were up, but CPMs are way down.
Yeah, trash. Yeah. And so it was like, my revenue slashed heavy. But I had a job.
Yeah.
Like business was still growing.
It's hard to gripe, right? When you're still, we can stay at home. We can be locked down and still grow. And
that's the other thing. It's like, why would I, like, now's the worst time to stop doing this because there's no jobs.
There's never going to be a good time to stop though. That's the thing.
And there is,
How much money's enough?
When you die.
Joe Rogan got $100 million contract. $100 million.
At a certain point, you gotta be like,
I don't know what is
but
that.
But it's not the money, man. It's never the money.
I know.
Like it's crazy. Like people, I had a comment. We just finished the skate park.
Yeah,
it's the garage.
It looks awesome.
It's built.
I dropped in, did a couple 720s.
Oh yeah, dude. Yeah. 720s and a 3-foot ramp.
Yeah. It was. I had mad momentum.
I posted about it. Like, so what we want to do is we're going to do a new show, which is going to be the house, the fun. We've got hunting ground, we've got deer blind towers, things like that. We got a bunch of fun stuff we can do. Skateboarding. We're gonna do crazy stuff for the winter. Like I'm talking to these construction guys. I'm like, we might build the longest grind rail ever done, just like to break a record. Literally like a half-mile long, just ridiculous. Just like
hopefully it's downhill.
It's downhill, but then it has like a few instances where it goes up, so you can control your speed better.
Okay.
Otherwise, you're just gonna start going faster and faster.
Yeah, terminal velocity. Yeah.
But so the goal with that is we're going to do an online store and all that stuff. But I had someone comment and they were like, how do you afford all this stuff? And I was like, bro, I used to work for Disney. Like I worked for Disney. Like, and people are like, do you think that working for Disney, you're poor? Like Disney pays stupid money. And so
you also have very generous supporters, and especially those that are here tonight. All beautiful people.
Definitely.
Too.
That's true.
Yeah, super chats are legit.
True.
Yeah, super, and they're all super attractive people, and they're some of the best.
Smartest.
Yeah,
and it's actually they've scientifically proven this, that not only are people who give super chats more attractive on average, but that actually by giving a super chat you become more attractive.
I've read that.
That's a joke, by the way. It's not true. They're gonna be like, Tim's trying to defraud his.
No, it's written on the bathroom wall up here.
I don't know. It's crazy.
Yeah, but there's considering the lockdowns are about to get 100 times worse.
They really are. Do you
hear about Newark? The mayor said you can't leave your house at all. And now people are like, can you do that? I don't think you can do that.
That's unconstitutional, right?
Yeah, I know.
Come on.
Yeah, but in Europe they're doing it.
I know.
I think
they don't have the same protections we do. They also don't have a First Amendment there either.
Right. Or a second.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
In Greece, I think if you want to leave your house, you got to text the cops. Like, hey, just like want to ask permission to go outside.
Hey, bro, can I go get? Yeah, I got to go to the store and get some rubbers.
But here's the point, right? It seems like everything that's being done right now in the U.S. has the only effect of destroying the economy. Do lockdowns work?
No,
not really.
No.
Are they working in Europe?
No.
Right.
Did they work here? Well, here we are again with major spikes.
Right.
Do masks work? Technically. The answer is...
I don't know if I could say this. I'll be careful about answering that.
So according to... There was a study out of Denmark that said if everybody wears masks, it will work. The problem is we can't get everybody to do it.
How do you get...
Well, and you see how people wear them, right? You leave the house every once in a while. Yeah, they cram it in their pocket or they put it in their center console and they leave it hanging. They don't wash it. It's just, I see these people hanging from their rear view.
Or it's under their nose.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
They don't even understand.
Collecting all the boogers.
Or like Joe Biden, he takes it off and coughs into his hand and then puts it back.
Oh my God. Wait, did you see Rudy Giuliani's booger
Oh
gate?
no, what is booger gate?
Oh, Rudy.
Okay. I watched it. I couldn't believe it. He blew his nose into his handkerchief, and then you watch him take it booger side out and wipe it all. He like wipes it all over his face, right?
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Rudy, no. Oh, he had the hair dye and booger gate in like a 124-hour span. Like,
Dude.
Oh, God.
Yeah, man.
That's tough. That's tough.
Anyway,
yeah.
with the lockdowns, now that we're moving beyond Boogergate, Boogergate.
You never really moved beyond it. Yeah.
I couldn't
You
believe
just
it. I was
learned to
like,
accept
no,
it.
what is it? What are they doing? They're saying don't go to school.
Yep.
But the CDC said that's
fine.
Yeah, go to school.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Yeah.
Why are they doing it? I don't know, but I'll tell you this: if the kids can't go to school, parents can't go to work.
Right.
Well, that's a really damaging part, especially on the middle class, because it's not like look, if mom and dad are together, which is exceedingly rare this year or these days, and they both work, you probably can't afford to have one of them just become a stay-at-home mom
You cannot.
or dad.
That's
Especially
why
in
both
New
people
York.
work.
Yeah, you know, like they're.
But if you're rich,
well, yeah, it don't matter, right? The
Yeah.
people making the decisions have the money. You know, they're like, oh, we'll get rid of the housemaid, maybe.
dude,
Or, you know.
everything we're seeing is all contributing to the largest transfer of wealth from the lower classes, the middle class, lower class, to the upper class.
Look at the money Bezos has made.
But that's stock price. So basically,
yeah.
when you shut down all the small businesses and allow the big box stores to stay open, what you're saying is what little money you have left has to go to the major corporations, and
Insult and injury.
your businesses
Yeah.
is now destroyed, so you'll never have money again. So the best part is I hear these people saying like, well, the government should give a stimulus, and I'm like, yes. What that will do is either it's going to be deficit spending, which will devalue the dollar substantially and give all of that to major corporations.
Right.
You know, so that's basically what's going to happen.
Well, it's all going to go to Amazon, Walmart, and like Target and stuff.
But think about the
you know.
vaccine. Right now, they're saying that there might be, I believe they're going to do a mass deployment of the vaccine free of charge because the government will cover the cost.
Well, yeah, of course.
You
But
know-
where do they get their money?
So what they're doing is it's a massive transfer of wealth from poor people to major pharmaceutical companies.
Yeah. Yeah.
So what people don't realize is that the US dollar essentially functions as a guarantee that someone will do something for you. If you devalue that, then becomes worth
They'll
less
do
and
less for you.
That means the money you have in your bank is becoming worth less and less the more the government claims they're going to spend this money and guarantee your labor to somebody else.
Well, yeah, but I mean, you're also, I mean, the concept that you're espousing is not super complex, but explain that to somebody who's, living paycheck to paycheck. And that's the problem is like you try to explain it and it's like they have the reality of, unfortunately, of like, well, I need to pay my bills, right? My work's closed down. I can't, my kids aren't, I can't go to work because my kids have to stay home. So forget it. Well, let's just mortgage the future for political clout now instead of what they should do, in my opinion. I'm not a doctor. Accept the rates and just move on with life.
I need to do like a simple animation, like make a new channel that's just like explaining things.
You
and
know
like,
an animator.
Wait, was it?
You know an animator.
Do I?
There's one in the house right now.
Oh, yeah, I know. Oh, I know a ton of animators.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is, the idea is imagine you have like 5 people and they each trade, one like A, B, C, D, and E. And those items circulate. The guy who makes the letter A trades with the guy who makes B, B trades it to C,
Right.
etc. Then you introduce a guy who just makes money. He literally controls the flow of money.
Yeah.
Now he's sitting there and he can buy any one of those objects with doing no labor. If you need, so basically what happens is people don't seem to get this. I know most people watching probably do because I think politically savvy audiences, regular people don't get this concept that if you have people freely trading money among themselves or freely trading their labor among themselves, and then one guy sits back and says, give me control of making the money, and I care not who makes the laws.
Right.
He doesn't have to lift a finger ever because he can just press a button on his printer and then say, "Here's money. You want money, right?" And they say, "Yes."
Who
he can
doesn't?
have whatever he wants from whoever he wants. People don't understand that when the government just does quantitative easing or prints money or whatever, they're basically saying, we are guaranteeing to the world or whoever we're giving this money to that you will do work for them.
Well, isn't that dollar not even backed by really anything anymore? It used to be
It's fiat.
Right.
Wishful thinking.
Yeah. Right. So I mean, ultimately, you look at.
Ian's probably in his room right now listening, going, "No, the Federal Reserve, the Federal Reserve."
Oh, maybe you should have came to work. I think ultimately, I live in a small town. You live in a small town.
No, I don't live in a town at all.
Well, true.
Like legally, I guess it is.
Well, I mean, yeah. Well,
Closest town.
until
We have more bears around us than people.
It's true, yeah.
Yeah. Well, once
And deer.
Beantown gets
Beantown.
Beanieville gets incorporated because you're getting up there now for population.
Yeah, it's true.
But you don't see it because these governors who are making these decisions, and I'll just talk about Wisconsin. I won't disparage any other governor, although I'm sure they're all crap. This Evers doesn't come to where I live. He doesn't come and see these local businesses, these bars that have 3 people
Bro, he
in there.
doesn't care.
He doesn't, right?
No.
Because he gets paid either way. You see this with Gavin Newsom, goes to some French restaurant maskless. This is the same dude who
Indoor.
indoor, who said you're supposed to put your mask on between bites.
Yeah.
That's his thing.
Between
bites at
With the
restaurants.
California Medical Board.
Yeah, and he's out there with all the who's who of people that are profiting off of this.
Yep.
And look, the disease is real and should be respected, but also let's not destroy our entire country over it. I think that's where most people are right now. And you have a lot of people out there who, mom and dad can't afford to have some kid. There are a lot of kids that, they don't have laptops and they don't have a webcam and they don't have all this stuff.
There's going to be, I think that we're sitting on a pile of powder kegs.
Yeah.
I called it a powder keg last year with Black Lives Matter and Antifa and all these riots. Now we got them all stacked up. You got regular Americans like Trump supporters in Huntington Beach. This is what's crazy because we don't even know where we're at with the president. Like it's looking like, Trump's, I don't know where we're going to end up.
He's still going to have supporters.
Right.
No matter what happens.
Huntington Beach, they're defying curfew.
Yeah.
They're going out and they're protesting. At the same time, you still have, Black Lives Matter. You still have a lot of people on the left that are going out and angry. And so a lot of the riots we saw earlier in this year were for Black Lives Matter and George Floyd, but a lot of people contended that being locked in a concrete cubicle in New York City for months with nothing to do, you can't go outside, made everybody kind of lose it a little bit.
Well, it made it way worse. Look, in Wisconsin, we were locked down during that time. And I was like, oh, you mean I can go outside because it's a political protest? Sweet. Right. BLM, baby.
Exactly.
It's 70 degrees outside. I want to go see people.
And then people did.
Yep.
So now you've got this pending lockdown. Joe Biden said he's going to, well, look, I'm going to listen to the scientists on this one. And one of his lead advisors, Osterholm, said 6-week national lockdown.
Is the funniest part about that? Sorry to interrupt, but he's actually said it would also heal the economy.
Right.
What? You can't do. They're mutually exclusive.
In the view of the Great Reset, it will heal the economy.
Yeah, right.
It'll turn it into a communist economy, a command economy.
I'll owe nothing and be happy about it.
That's right.
So here's what I see.
Yeah, what the heck?
You're going to lock down all these people again. No stimulus. No plan. A lot of them are being evicted. They're starting to freak out. Then you start destroying the business of people on the right. Everyone's going to be ready to burst.
Yeah.
So I saw there was one story in Reuters where they went to a town and they asked a bunch of Trump supporters, and one guy said if Trump gave him the signal, he'd get his gun and he'd be ready. And I'm like, that is scary.
There are people like that.
But there's on the left too.
Yep, there are.
So what do you think happens when they lock everything down and destroy everything to an extreme degree? Good, honest working people's businesses and livelihoods are gone. They've lost all ownership of property because they're just not allowed to work anymore.
Well, and the government tells you what you can do in your own house. You got to wear a mask in your own castle.
So you get these people bottled up to the brink, and then the left just snaps. They go out, they start smashing things again. We get the George Floyd riots times 10. What are these regular Americans going to do? Are they going to sit back and just be like, the government's there for me? Or are they going to say, finally, the government is not doing anything?
Well, I think it's going to come down to how individual law enforcement also enforces this kind of thing. So in Wisconsin, I've talked to officers who shall remain unnamed. I live in a small town, so you just know everybody. And they laugh. They've said openly, I'm not enforcing this crap. Go to the pub, have fun, whatever. We're trying to stop crime,
Right.
not people from like living their lives. Now, if you have police forces who start to enforce this stuff, then you're going to end up in a situation where you're going to have regular citizens armed against the police, which that's a huge, they're outnumbered significantly
Yeah.
in that scenario. And especially when you talk about rural cities, which is, I think, where it's more likely to be prominent, where you have, small law enforcement. But right now, thankfully, from what I can see, both in Pennsylvania, look, that Governor Spaghetti in New York, his own police force won't enforce his crap.
Yeah.
They're like, nah, dog, we're not enforcing it. So, I hope that the police force just says, no, we're not, this isn't fascist. We're not going to oversee what people do. But then you got what Newsom, like no 10-pound turkeys. These people.
No 10-pound turkeys.
I don't know. Yeah, it's scary to think about. All I know is that I'm ready.
Dude, it's like some kind of Hunger Games situation where these elites are all dancing and laughing and drinking Ipecac so they can vomit and eat more while they're telling everyone else to go suffer for them,
Yeah, well, I don't know anybody who's like a super left. I have a couple of Bernie friends, but they're not dumb. Like, they would admit that, like, governors, like, you have Pelosi with their salon. You had Gavin
Lori
Newsom.
Lightfoot, Gretchen Whitmer.
Yeah,
they all did it.
Beetlejuice out there, like, having a pro-Biden rally, no mask, but actually cancel Thanksgiving because, Beetlejuice says so. Like, people can't. Eventually, people got to just say no. Like, I'm not putting up with this.
I think it'll happen. I mean, we saw in Huntington Beach all these people go out, but I think the real solution.
Shout out to a lot of Latinos out there too. The news did not like that.
Yep.
Yeah.
They did not like that.
Doesn't fit their narrative.
Dozens of
I think
supporters.
this ends when people just go, like, if everybody who had a business in an area just opened their business like normal and said no.
Right.
There's no violence. There's no protest. There's no blocking streets. It's literally just people go about your business like normal.
Yeah.
And that's the kind of protest that works. Because government is all about confidence in the authorities,
Well, that's what it is in the small towns, like where I live. Everybody's open. There's like occupancy limits. Sometimes you go to if you go into the city, they'll have people outside with clickers, like making sure the right number of people are in the store. Where I live, nobody cares. Like, I go to the pub, same people there. Now there are people who want to stay home, and that's their right. Totally, I would never make fun of somebody who's like being super cautious. That's your choice.
We have a couple of deer that are hanging out outside eating grass, and they have clickers too, and they're like making sure and looking at us.
Right, yeah.
Wear your mask.
Yeah, right.
Like, get out of here, you deer! You can't tell me.
This isn't exactly 6 feet. We've got, there was a tweet of somebody in Michigan who was whining about a local business being open. I don't know if you saw it. It was like a total Karen tweet. Like, she had like secret footage from her cell phone in a restaurant. I was like, look at this restaurant.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Serving all these people.
Yeah, yeah.
And then
like nobody cared.
Nobody cared. Right. She got completely demolished, and I'm like, okay, like faith restored. That, like, all right,
Yeah, people are just saying, shut up.
Yeah.
Like, dude, we see the governors ignoring their own rules. I'll put it this way. Well, first, there was a Gallup poll that found 33% are now saying they're unlikely to follow these rules. And earlier in the year, most people agreed they would. When you have politicians, they lead by example. When they say, everybody, it's a pandemic, we have to stay home, and then they're seen at a restaurant with no mask, I'm like, they're not scared at all.
No, of course they're not.
They're the ones with the access to all this information, all these medical experts, and they're not scared. Why should I be?
Well, in Wisconsin, I can say, like, the general consensus is simple. It's like the daily news, the mainstream media would have us convinced. And again, I want to be very clear. The virus is real and it should be respected. But I will also say, if you watch the mainstream media, you would expect bodies stacked like cordwood in the streets. Well, it's not there. We're the hospitals are,
It's because we had something really, really bad happen earlier in the year. Here's what I think happens.
Well, New York did get out of control.
New York is still somewhat out of control.
Yeah.
But I think what happened is two things.
Good thing they wasted all those elderly people to free up beds, though. Am I right?
Well, no, but that's one of the things. Earlier on, a bunch of these governors put sick patients in nursing homes, killing tens of thousands of people.
Yeah.
And so now that they're not doing that again,
look at the
numbers
rates. The rates are
right.
Yeah, right.
And then they go. We've developed new treatments. It's like, also you stopped killing old people.
Yeah, you stopped taking
crazy.
a grenade and like pulling the pin and tossing it into.
But this
an
is
home.
ProPublica, a left-wing publication, wrote about Cuomo being responsible for like 6,500 deaths.
They had a coffin in the street, and then people were taking the leaflets from his book. By the way, we should congratulate him. What was it?
On his Emmy?
Emmy,
His
yeah.
Emmy. Yeah.
Yes, powerful
Yeah.
leadership.
This is such an insane world.
Dystopia.
Do you know what, man? People like to talk about how like something happened in November of 2016.
Yeah.
Where like we got hit by a meteor and now we're all in some kind of, alternate like hell or alternate dimension.
I'd
or
buy
who knows
it.
What.
I'd buy it.
Some
Yeah.
people, I love this conspiracy that on election day, the Large Hadron Collider fired off something and like
Oh,
tore
yeah.
open a new reality.
Yeah.
And
Fine.
it's only getting crazier.
Yeah.
It's so insane right now that you have Cuomo getting an Emmy, literally killed thousands of old people.
Yeah.
Like he did.
It's his call. That
It's like
led to it,
6,500 counts of negligent homicide.
Yeah.
And I'm not even trying to exaggerate or be hyperbolic. He put sick people in nursing homes when we knew the old people were the most vulnerable.
Right.
And this is ProPublica reporting on this. This is a left-wing, like, nonprofit news outlet. It happened. And they give him an award for it. And everyone's just supposed to sit back and be like, okay.
Yeah, that was a pretty good move. Yeah.
It's actually really, really cool that he used his TV, presence to win an
Strong
award while
leadership.
killing
Yeah,
people.
enough with the politician celebrities, please.
Yeah.
Like, I know we had a president who was a celebrity, but like, when I have AOC, it's like, I'm totally like you. It's totally sus. I'm gonna play Among Us with
totally sus.
Like, I don't want to see you on Twitch. I want to see you on Capitol Hill doing your job, and just wait till Thanksgiving. You wait till one of these police people break into someone's house because they see 6 cars in front of it. Like, that's going to be one of those type of litmus tests of how people
Shot heard around the world.
Could you imagine like hiring a plumber and instead of fixing your toilet, he's playing Among Us and talking about how like, he's got these really great ideas for inventions for plumbing that like if people would just listen to him, like it's really hard to like, get this new kind of technology for like, I want to make this pipe. I'm saying, we should have, new pipes for everybody.
Right.
And you're like, dude, like, the toilet's right there.
It's literally pouring water, poop water onto the floor. Can you please? Well, that's exactly it. Like all this
To be fair,
worship.
she's a freshman congresswoman, so there's not a whole lot she can do, I guess.
Well, so I had a question. How old is she?
20. What is she? 28.
She's
I thought she's 30 something, right? Because I looked it up, and Dan Crenshaw is 36 years old. And I don't think he's a freshman, but he's really young
a freshman.
too. He is as well.
Isn't he?
Dan Crenshaw's getting stuff done.
She's 31. Wow, she's 31.
Yeah.
Jeez.
So Dan Crenshaw's only a few years older than her, and he's out there making speeches, and he's making stuff
That's
happen.
true. That's true.
I have huge
Yep.
respect for him. He's not
Dan's
playing
36.
Among Us. He's not playing Twitch games.
Yeah, seriously, that's a good point. He was on SEAL Team 3.
Yeah, dude.
He actually,
Messing around.
yeah.
He literally lost
I
an
mean,
eye.
Hassan said it was some brave mujahideen who took
That
his
was
eye,
nuts that he said that. That's crazy. That's not,
He's the third most popular Twitch streamer too, or fifth.
But Twitch is all like far left. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it is.
So
yeah.
when
they're either apolitical or far left.
When we were starting the show, we had some conversations with some like network people.
Yeah.
Who were very savvy, and they were talking to us, and I was like, I don't think we're gonna do Twitch.
Nope.
But it's not just about that it's far left. It's like they'll ban people
Remember
for
the
like
deer
BS
person?
reasons.
Well, what you should be doing is
the deer person.
yeah.
Weird.
Give me the itchies and the scratchies.
But if we
you
people are
should be
saying,
simulcasting. You should be doing that.
yeah, I don't know.
It costs you nothing. Although
Maybe.
you have like potato internet here, so I don't know if you.
Yeah,
can
we
actually-
do have potato.
True.
internet.
Not for long.
I got good news.
Yeah. Oh, breaking news.
In 3 weeks, we will have gigabit.
Yes.
And then we will have streaming in 4K.
So you won't have it for the big show tomorrow.
No, it's and that's just crazy because like when we have some of these guests, I'm like, don't cut out internet. That's what happens when you live in the Bumpkinville in the mountains,
Well, it kept happening during your Alex Jones episode, and everyone's like,
yeah, no, they're like, they got you.
Yeah.
My mom texted me, and she's like, I think they shut you down.
Yeah.
I'm like, no,
okay,
calm down,
it's
calm
all
down.
right.
well, yeah, I'm like, I've watched plenty of episodes where his internet craps out. Like, I'm sure it's just that. you know?
Yeah.
But maybe it's not.
Maybe
Yeah.
this time.
Yeah.
Let's do super chats, huh?
Yes.
If you have not already, smash the like button
Smash it.
because it really does help.
And did you know that probably 40% of you aren't subscribed to Timcast's channel? That's like a running.
That's crazy too.
That's right. That's a really sad number. There's a
Unacceptable.
red subscribe button right below the video. That you just click that.
easy to click.
Yeah.
No, but actually, are those metrics similar for you? Like,
Yeah.
about 60%, like 60% are subscribed or something like that.
Right about yeah.
Yeah, people don't understand. I'm saying this sincerely. The more people who subscribe to you and keep watching, if you're a consistent viewer and you're not subscribed, That's like it hurts you.
It hurts YouTube. Yeah, right.
If you subscribe and you watch every time, YouTube goes, whoa,
super
this
engaged.
Must be really good content. Yeah. And so a lot of people don't know that, and then they don't like either. And this is true. A lot of people used to think that likes and dislikes are the same. They're not.
Nope.
Dislikes destroy. Do not get dislikes.
Well, they're engagement, but it's not the same as.
No, it really does
like.
shut you down.
Yeah.
So I've talked to some people. Google's not supposed to say anything. Top men.
Yeah.
And they were like, we can't tell you anything about how the system works. Don't get any dislikes.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, all right.
Okay.
And you can see it too. You can see it because what happens is if you get too many, YouTube stops recommending the content.
Yeah, I buy that. Yeah.
That's why.
And guys like us survive on recommendations because, like, really, you're not showing up in the search algorithm, and your subscriber count really usually, like, from notifications is like 3 to 4%. So you really need to be like on a trending topic that YouTube then recommends your video. So yeah.
Or just if people consistently watch your new videos, YouTube will keep recommending.
That's true too.
But that's why I'm saying if you subscribe and then keep watching, YouTube goes like, wow, we're so impressed. Look at all these people. We're going to
send them another gold play button.
Yeah, gold.
That's right.
Gold. All right, let's see. Engineer Isaac says, I heard a rumor that they were only going to read the first 200 super chats tonight.
200.
We got way more than 200.
I need to get another drink then because
we got way more. No, I think we probably read like 25 to
we read as many as we can.
Well, because we usually do about a half hour to read through as many as we can, so we definitely can't get everyone. But here's another important one. Bat Goat says, Tim, you rule. Sub to the quartering.
Oh, that's a good one.
How many subscribers do you have right now?
I have like 900.
No, check on your phone.
Oh, okay.
Check on your phone. While you're pulling that up, I'll pull up another super chat.
All right. I definitely don't have it. I have 944,700.
944.
Oh,
yeah.
So
come on, guys.
56K away.
Subscribe to the quartering.
Yes.
What's your URL? Is it youtube.com/the quartering?
It's like /C/the quartering, I think it is.
Something like that.
Huh.
Yeah.
Search for the quartering, subscribe, he'll get over 1 million, and then he gets his own gold play thing.
I know, and I'll send it to Tim so he can add another block.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah.
Dan says Brie Larson 2024.
Oh, yeah. She's got my vote.
Let's see. Zach Edwards says, I started watching you both around the same time near the end of 2017. I have to quote Michael Scott and say, I feel like all my kids grew up and then married each other. Love you both.
That's really weird.
It's the first time you've been on the show.
Yeah. Hey, well, you know.
Kyle Booth says, I just want to say that I truly enjoy both of your guys' content. To be honest, I would never have found you, Tim Poole, if it was not for Jeremy from the quartering. Wow.
Oh, you're welcome.
Thank you.
I'll take one of those gold play buttons with me to go. It's actually in a gift bag when we leave, I hope. Yeah.
You both do a wonderful job, and thank you so much for what you guys do. I listen every day. Right on. Tim Poole's tinfoil beanie says, Sidney Powell is Hugh. Oh, all right. I didn't realize that. Archimedes says, Jenna Ellis tweet, as I said, Third Circuit has granted our appeal, and we already have one case from PA pending before SCOTUS. Interesting. But when was that tweet from? Because I know that they got granted the appeal from the Third Circuit at 11 a.m. and then at 3 p.m. they dismissed it.
They bounced it. Yeah.
Let me look.
But that, again, that could be because it goes straight to the Supreme Court.
Yeah, it could have something could have changed since then.
By knocking it back, I don't know. I don't know. I'll just tell you, the way I see it is like, dude, wouldn't you want the win at any level if you could get it?
Right.
If you went to court and the judge says you win, wouldn't you be happy? Like, I don't see why it has to go to the Supreme Court. Michael says, you, Jeremy, you great. Yo, Jeremy, you great. This is for you, but it will be for Tim now. LOL.
Oh,
all right.
That's all right. Well, it's actually mostly for YouTube.
Yeah. Dency Coop says, please have Joshua Phillip from the Epic Times on your show. He has info on Dominion that hasn't been in the press yet. And he was the first reporter to report on China's organ harvesting of the Falun Gong.
He was one of the early ones that did report on the organ
and they say,
stuff,
and NewsGuard says bad things about the Epic Times.
Too bad.
I know. Well, you know what the problem is? Their ads are a little spicy. Like,
really?
We've got the truth that no one has.
Oh.
And I'm like, yeah.
And then Michael goes on to say, yo, Jeremy, Shadowlands is out. What are you doing here? Don't you need to play WoW?
No, you know what really is disappointing? I'm going to leave a Yelp review before I leave of the Beanie Hotel.
Oh,
but the internet is subpar, so I probably won't be playing Shadowlands here tonight.
No. The ping here is like 10 milliseconds.
Oh, all right, then I'll play Shadowlands.
And the upload rate is pretty good.
All right, well then I'll be playing tonight.
You got a gaming laptop or something?
Yeah, I do.
Oh, definitely.
I got to record videos after the show. But.
Oh, okay.
No bad Yelp reviews.
Yeah.
Come on, man.
Let's see. Where are we at? Bill says, yes, the Republicans are largely just big government corrupt globalists, just as bad as the Democrats. They love helping the Democrats get power because their political role is controlled opposition. You know the way I see it is? The people who got in for the longest time, Democrats and Republicans, don't want to work.
No,
They don't want jobs.
they want to maintain the status quo, right?
No, I don't think it's political. I think it's like, dude, if I can get a paycheck and sit around doing nothing, sign me up.
It's not even that much money, though. That's a crazy
Yeah, I
thing to
know.
me. Like,
No, but it is after the fact. They're all millionaires.
Yeah, that's
not every
true.
single one of them. Like half.
Yeah.
End up becoming millionaires
then they
because
do books and they do this and that, and they get donations for their whatever.
right.
Yeah.
After you leave, you still have access to Capitol Hill, so you can easily get a job as a lobbyist. Then you get paid a ton of money,
Big
or
money,
you
yeah.
do some favors or whatever. They just want to go in there and they want to, Lindsey Graham wants to fist bump Kamala Harris and
Yeah.
then pretend like he's actually fighting back against, the machine or whatever.
Right.
Nah, man. They just like, please, can I have the keys so I can sit in my lounge chair again? I don't want to work. They
I
get
feel
budgets.
bad for them. I really do.
Yeah, I do too.
Yeah,
My heart goes out to them.
Yeah.
Bill H says, according to Wikipedia, Dominion bought Sequoia voting systems from Smartmatic in 2010. Interesting. What's really funny is, Joe Biden has the chairman of Smartmatic on his transition team.
That's not interesting. In fact, that's super not surprising.
So he
Also has all these big tech Facebook people and
Yeah.
yeah.
Here's the deal, man.
Come on, man.
Here's the deal. Joe Biden's got a guy from a company called Smartmatic. Smartmatic is there's a WikiLeaks cable from Cablegate back in 2010 that I don't know who this guy is or what this assertion is, but it was a diplomatic cable saying that they believe Smartmatic is actually owned by elite Venezuelans and they run through shell or corporations.
What's a diplomatic cable?
So these were like communications between diplomats and
cable is like a form of communication.
Yeah, like a
okay.
document, like a
Okay.
communication.
Gotcha.
And so WikiLeaks, it was called Cablegate 2010 or whatever, and they dropped a bunch of these diplomatic communications, and it was like the media was shocked. It's going to ruin foreign relations, all this other stuff.
Yeah,
But
nothing happened.
One of these documents is it's a cable talking about how Smartmatic was actually, they claimed to be a U.S. company, but were actually started by elite Venezuelans. I'm not saying that's true. I'm saying that's just a document from 10 years ago
Yeah.
that was released by WikiLeaks. Either way,
Did
why
you look at that though?
The document?
Because I watched CNN and they said actually you're not allowed to read WikiLeaks.
No,
only CNN is.
No, it's okay. You could either work for CNN or be an actual agent of the federal government. I mean, I didn't read anything.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Okay.
Yes, you're allowed
I've
to
just-
read these things.
I just want to protect you, Tim. I didn't want to get in any trouble.
I was always funny whenever the Occupy people would be like, during Occupy, they'd be like, Tim Pool's a cop. I would go, I didn't spend 4 years at the FBI Academy to be called. Well, I don't know, 4 years is probably a long time or whatever.
Yeah,
like
right.
A year to be called a cop. Thank you very much.
Yeah. It's doctor.
It's doctor. Yeah, right. Bill says, Trucker? You mean Tucker? Trucker and Anderson Cooper are CIA agents. Enough said. Controlled opposition. Just two sides of the intelligence deep state government coin, literally. I don't believe it. I know Anderson Cooper interned at the CIA, and then he ended up leaving.
He's a news reader, though. Anderson Cooper.
I think he's just. I think he's just an elite. He's a Vanderbilt.
Yeah.
He's a rich family, and he's birds of a feather flock together, and they hook each other up.
He's a fun, quick.
So is
anecdote.
Tucker.
Yeah, totally.
Isn't he like the heir
He's
to
always
the O.
had
Henry
money.
candy bar
Yeah,
fortune?
He's always had
Okay,
money.
it's a Seinfeld joke.
Yeah. Nobody. Yeah, you're too. Now I know you are old. But the
I was a little kid.
there. So deep lore about me. There was. I used to have this claw machine channel long before they removed all these claw machines. Anyway, the Today Show flies me out to explain to them how claw machines work. So I go to New York, and
Wait. You did?
yeah. So then I go to New York and I'm on the Today Show with some dude who works like 2 days a week. And we have to film something in his house. I'm going somewhere with this, how these people are paid. This guy works like 1 or 2 days a week. We go to his house, which is like a penthouse and like a super tall, like the guy's a multi-million. Like if you're in the news media, you're getting paid.
Yep.
Even if you're like a low-level investigative reporter.
If you are maintaining the Matrix, they pay you well to do so.
Yep.
When I worked for Vice, I laughed when I first walked in that building because, for one thing, most people, like a lot of them, wouldn't even show up because they didn't have to.
Why would you?
Because they work on their laptop, and so they'd be like, I don't know, they email me, and so they just not come in one day. And then when I found out they were getting paid, like some of them were like, Vice doesn't pay that well. A lot of them were getting like 35 to 40. I was like, you mean to tell me that
Probably their first job, though, right?
first job out of college,
Yeah.
they're writing about Brad Pitt's junk and like doing drugs
Right.
at a rock concert, and they're
Listicles.
getting paid double what like laborers are getting paid.
Yeah.
Like working class guy, and when I worked, someone getting $12 an hour, these people are getting 17.
Yeah.
Amazing. That's America, the American dream.
But it can't exist like that forever. You see, these companies, BuzzFeed, they can't keep printing money. Advertising's changing, and they're not changing with it.
Right. V Cydia says, just want to point out Dukakis beat Biden in the 87 primaries. Wow.
Deep lore.
Yikes.
Yeah.
One Drop says, F this. I am not willing to give up on the best president in my life for the most corrupt non-president ever. Biden will end BIPOC lives and start new wars. Karma's a B and depression is your future. Oh, Biden is going to be like...
Oh, he's done. He's done. You think Obama droned? Wait till you see what Biden does.
Wait till you see at least Obama had like cognitive faculties. So when they came to him and said, "Mr. President, here is a list of here's your disposition matrix." That's what it's called, the disposition matrix, the kill list. And Obama would go, "I think we got to kill this guy right here."
Yeah.
Joe Biden's gonna be like,
Yeah.
and they're gonna be like, "Just kill all of them."
Matrix. Yeah. All right. We'll just handle this.
Here's the deal. True non shop President.
How many of these marks are malarkey?
This guy. ZZ says, Jeremy, Indianapolis native here. Sorry you got sucker punched in my town. If you roll through again, I'd be glad to back you up. Love your content, bro. Keep it up.
All right. Hey, it was a great trajectory point for my career, to be honest with you. So it was fun.
Nick Smith says, hey guys, I'm a 25-year-old vet, always loved politics. After finding out that our troops were lied to, I'm going to make a go for office. F the establishment. Hey, good luck, brother.
Good luck, man. Thank you for your service.
Dukakis, that was a good one. Bill says, real talk. 1 million Trump supporters marched on Washington a week ago. I am not advocating for civil war, but they were literally talking about taking D.C. What happens is Trump supporters remove Biden at the inaugurations. What happens if? It wasn't 1 million, I don't think. I think the high estimate from Trump supporters was 200,000. And it's what
local media said it was like 10 or 20,000. But pictures looked way bigger than that.
No, but even leftists were saying 100.
Okay. That's strong. That's strong.
But they were saying it to like make fun of the Trump supporters. Like, you said you got over 1 million when only 100,000 showed up.
In a lockdown era, 100,000 people showed up. But
what people got to realize about conservative presidents right now is that they're all from rural areas. They got to fly. When you get a Democrat, you've got Philadelphia, Baltimore, New York, Newark. You got a bunch of blue cities that are within a couple hours driving to D.C.
D.C. itself.
But for Trump supporters to come from Wyoming, West Virginia, from middle of the country states,
Montana.
It's really, really difficult. I mean, Missouri or even like rural Illinois and stuff like that.
Spend money to fly. Like, hey, if it was happening in Milwaukee, I'd be there. But it's a $2,000 plane ticket, and it's real.
Yeah. Lone Wolf says, I believe the perceived censorship on social media is actually the pure result of activists whose literal job, chosen or paid, is to report content. Collectively, they overpower. That's true.
Yeah, I agree with that.
It might not be the only issue, but I think what the left does is they have organizations that will find content and mass flag it.
Yep. Yeah,
so
you're right.
A guy probably walks in a room with like 100 people and he goes, all right, guys, we got a tweet here from Jeremy from the Quartering. And he said something that we don't want people to see. So we're going to send you out the URLs, mass text. Everybody report it right now. And we'll get it taken down.
It doesn't take much, too. It takes like maybe 20 or 30 reports.
Within a certain time frame.
Yeah, if it's short in a short period. Yeah.
Yep. And because conservatives don't do that because they don't care.
Yeah.
It's typically conservatives that are getting the ban hammer. Ben White says, I knew I recognized that voice. Been a while since you were struck by a claw.
Oh, yeah. Claw Struck used to be my channel.
Oh, really?
I used to go with my wife, and like we would get all hammered, and then
play the crane games.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. You used to win them all the time.
I was pretty good. I was on the Today Show, but I don't want to brag. But
yeah.
Michael Wynn says, Tim, you need to reach out to Michael Malice and get Tom Woods on your show so you can have a real libertarian on rather than someone who calls themselves a libertarian is nothing of the sort.
That's a true libertarian who wrote that.
I know, right? For
guaranteed.
sure.
Yeah.
You know the Willie meme?
No, I don't think so.
It was like, damn libertarians. They ruined libertarianism.
Oh,
yeah. Seriously.
Yeah.
Let's see. Accelerate says, next episode of Timcast will feature Ghastly Dope. Fright supremacy is the right supremacy. The Quartering agrees.
Huh.
Yeah, Ghastly. It's another YouTube channel, yeah.
Oh.
Fright supremacy is like their catchphrase.
Fright supremacy?
Yeah,
what do
I
they do?
love
Is like horror
Scare
content or something?
people.
No, it's just Ghastly is the name of the channel.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Timothy Peterson says, greetings from the Wisconsin gun deer season. Not sure if true, but heard we will be the world's 6th largest army during these 9 days. Oh, wow.
Yeah, the hunting
Deer
people.
and everyone goes out.
There are 2 bucks that were pulled out of my my new land this morning. I'll be hunting there next week too.
Oh, really?
Awesome.
Hunting numbers are up because people are looking for a reason to go out.
Yeah.
Deer take registrations up. Great to see. Take your
But
kids hunting.
how do they know they didn't kill too many?
No such thing.
Really?
Deer are like a huge pest in Wisconsin. Yeah. Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Well, the problem is, right, if you don't manage the herd, how do they die?
Yeah, nothing kills them. Huh? There's no
right.
wolves.
No, what kills them is cars, and then people
jeez,
die,
dude.
Not better,
Right,
yeah.
that's messed up.
Yeah, so
We have that problem out here.
right,
You gotta
yeah, I
be
saw
very
a couple
careful.
of them on the
Yup,
side of the
you gotta be
road.
careful.
Yeah, I'm used to it, like you can almost predict when you're going to see one. But yeah, like fathers, mothers, take your kids hunting, teach them how to harvest a deer. The hobby's dying, and it's hey,
I heard that if you eat their heart, you gain their courage.
Oh.
Is that true?
that's all I do is eat
Courage
deer
of
hearts.
deer.
Yeah,
Deer have a lot of courage.
I don't think they're very courageous. Maybe
They're not
maybe
courageous at all.
Maybe the buck.
bucks.
That's
Yeah,
right,
yeah.
yeah.
I also eat their testicles.
Yeah, that works too.
Yeah.
to gain
Rocky Mountain oysters.
their
Vitality.
virility.
Yeah. I don't know if it works or not,
I
but
don't know. No worries.
but it tastes great.
It hasn't not worked.
but it's a delicious snack, and it's a great way to stay in shape.
Small
Well,
round.
right. Yeah. I hear it's one of the main ingredients in Brain Force. So I'm
my
not sure.
Jeez, dude. Moaka Katuro says, literally 2 of the YouTubers I binged since the beginning of March
Yeah.
that have been my favorite YouTubers to view. Absolutely love the work both of you do. Lids and Ian included. Keep up
thanks.
the great work, guys. But Ian's chair is currently unoccupied.
Wah, wah.
And we had that conversation about money.
Yeah.
No, it's just one chance to the Federal Reserve.
He blew it. Yeah.
He blew it.
Yeah.
Gage Wampler says, all this super chat talk, and I thought y'all were right. Here's for the last 5 I should have given. That's
right.
right. Yeah. You.
Super attractive.
Glory says, I'm attractive on the inside.
I can tell. I can
Look at all
feel
the-
already you've been more attractive
I
now.
can feel the
all these,
attractiveness.
Yeah.
all these, we got a ton of super chats when we said that. Like people were like, to start throwing money.
Hey,
like,
slide in-
I was the first person to give a super chat.
Hey, my
attractive.
DMs are open. Hit me up.
That's right. Well, they're all very attractive. Don't worry.
Yeah,
All right,
I know.
here we
It's
go.
a good-
Somebody doesn't like you. They said,
oh, awesome.
MGB says Hambly is actually the worst.
Oh.
Profited from a video full of lies and nonsense about me, defending a piece of crap and a crook trying to sell a Lotus with a fake signature. Absolutely deserved the strike against his channel.
Whoa. That's an old Magic the Gathering
Yeah, the Lotus thing.
reference.
Huh.
I have
Is
no idea
this-
who that is.
MGB,
No idea.
Interesting.
a Lotus with a fake signature. So you confess.
I confess I don't know who they
That's what
are.
I'm getting here.
Yeah, and apparently, and if it was unsleeved media days, I assure you I didn't make any money.
I love Twitter so much, but man, there are some people. So Stick Sex and Emery, yeah.
Yeah, I know. Yeah,
He tweeted this funny meme where it was like he always makes these funny paintbrush memes.
Yeah,
And it was like this guy with a sickle and hammer, and he says something like, "I'm just an innocent sock dem, but here, check out how awesome Marx is and communism, or whatever."
yeah. I
And
saw
then
it, yeah.
Shuan had tweeted "so true" with a bunch of exclamation points, and so I responded, "So you admit it," which is
Yeah.
a very obvious and like old joke.
Obviously knows. Yeah.
But
right.
her followers thought
They're
it
the
was
worst. Yeah.
real.
They're unstoppable
And
force.
they were like, "Oh no, Tim thinks it's real." I'm like, dude, the "so you admit it" is an old,
Yeah.
dry, like not even original joke.
Yeah.
It's like from Futurama or something.
Respect to Shu, but yeah, her simps are legitimate.
But I was just like,
yeah.
what? She was joking. I was joking. It's Twitter.
It's
like,
okay. Yeah.
You know what the issue is though? It's like the people who don't like her or don't like you or don't like me often don't watch our content, and they.
Oh yeah, most of the time. Yeah.
What'll happen is someone will take a clip of Shu from a show and then be like, aha, and then people will take clips of me from a show, and that's all the exposure these people get.
Right.
So they don't actually know. So like when we had Vosh on,
Bless you.
a bunch of these lefties were like, "Oh, that was Tim. Actually, was kind of cool. I disagree with him." And I'm like, "Yo, maybe if you watched my videos, you'd be
Yeah.
like, oh, I get it."
I get that with my thumbnails. Like my thumbnails are baity, admittedly, but hey, that's the game. You know what I mean? Like I make no apologies for it. It's not like I lie in them, but I can tell people when they screech about like certain arguments I'm making. I'm like, oh, you just see my thumbnails.
You
know
didn't
what I-
actually
yeah.
watch the content. The other
Yeah.
thing too is like definitely thumbnails, because if the framing, there's a bunch of different. There's always framing, and my framing is always based on like my opinions of what I think is the most important thing or what I care about personally.
Right.
So like do you know Hotep? You know Hotep Jesus.
Yeah.
We had him on the show.
I gained 2,000 subscribers for the shout out. Thank you.
You did?
Yeah.
Oh, snap.
Oh, rad, dude.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Just make sure you actually watch if you sub, because it's But
Yeah,
but
right.
I asked Hotep what he thought about Republicans. And he's like, I don't know what they're doing to like even like mention about him or something, and I'm like, exactly, right?
Right.
Like, I've complained about him a lot, but it's really hard to make a definitive statement when they don't do anything. And I'm not saying anything bad. I'm saying literally anything. They sit around.
Name a Republican like a bill that's been passed in the last 3 years.
Man, I mean, I'm sure there's something.
I'm sure
right?
there are, but like I can't. Yeah.
What did they do?
They oppose the Democrats.
Yeah, exactly. No, for real.
You know, like that's it. Yeah.
I can give the Democrats respect for this. They're trying to do things. I don't like the things they're trying to do.
Right. That's why it's more interesting to talk about. Like people think like, oh, you never. People say to me all the time, you know, like, oh, you never roast Trump or you never do this about the Republicans. I'm like, there's nothing interesting going on. You want me to get upset about a Trump tweet? Well, that's not my content. Like, I don't care.
Yeah.
Like, if he's actually doing something that I'm, you know, I got pissed when he was early in his presidency. He fired some missiles into Syria. That pissed me off. I was like, bro, I literally voted you because you said no more of this bullshit.
Yeah.
And then he like quickly figured out, and he never did it again.
People don't like that stuff.
Yeah.
Max L says, Tim, would you be willing to moderate a debate between Vosh and the Quartering? In person and here, but I also don't think that's fair to Vosh because we clearly agree on a lot of things.
Yeah.
And we clearly
You wouldn't
disagree.
be impartial.
Yeah.
Plus, I have no interest in talking to a guy who makes that case that there's no moral reason to
well,
not have.
to be fair,
Yeah.
you know, his response to that was that he made a very poor choice of words in trying to explain a philosophical position.
Okay, fair
you
enough.
know, my response to that is the hardcore Trump supporters are absolutely like trying to use that against me, and I'm like, dude, I bring people like Alex Jones has been accused of a bunch of things. I have conversations with people. If you got an issue, take it up with him.
Yeah, I really. I'm not a. This is you know, there's this bygone debate me bro era of YouTube that I've just zero. I have zero interest in it.
Yeah, no thanks.
Even when it was popular, it was never a debate. It was just two people screaming at each other.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, it was so dumb.
It still exists. They're like, Tim Pool says the leftists won't debate him, but then like when they offer to debate him, he ignores them. I'm like, dude, I've never asked anyone to debate me.
No,
ever.
me either. I don't want to debate anybody.
No.
If I've ever said it, it was ironic. I have zero interest in. And by the way, none of these people actually know what debate means. It's just a rhetoric contest, and that's
right.
It's about who can own the other person with more, gotchas.
It's just generating sound bites.
Yeah, I'm not interested in it.
So they'll like have a pre-planned sound bite. They won't actually be talking to you, and it's like this is a waste of time.
That's exactly
like I had a conversation with when I was having with respect. I think David Peckman's a pretty good dude, and I think he does a good job. Though I disagree with him, but when we were talking, it felt more like he was just trying to throw semantic arguments as like a gotcha.
Yeah, it's so boring.
Specifically when and I got this from Vosh and I got this from Cedar. It's like I get it all the time, and I like with Vosh I actually explained it. When I say something like identity politics, I'm using a colloquial understanding of what this means, and we're specifically referring to authoritarian application of intersectionality.
Right.
If you take issue with the phrase identity politics, let me clarify and break down what it actually means. But they don't let you.
No.
They're like, no, you said it. You said it.
Right.
I'm like, dude, the civil rights movement was identity politics, and it was a good thing.
Right.
But telling white people to go on retreats to disavow themselves is not a good thing, and calling for segregation is not a good thing.
What's the stuff that they have? What do they call it in the government?
Critical race theory.
Critical race theory. Like that's identity politics. That's bad.
Right.
You know.
So literally one of the tenets of it is that whiteness is a form of currency that only white people possess.
What's the original sin in a lot of?
It's racist. It's absurd, and it basically creates segregation and division, and I'm not for it. And so when I'm talking about social justice wars, I'm talking about that stuff.
Right.
But then it's like, but you then say you're mixed race. I'm like, in the context of you claiming that I have less privilege than you, therefore you should listen to me, I say that.
Right.
And then you ignore it, and then that proves my point that you don't actually care. You just want power.
Right.
But it's really difficult to have discussions with men on the left because whenever I do, it becomes a semantic debate.
Which is so there's nothing more boring than that. Period. But go on. Sorry. Yeah,
no, it's like they're instead of saying I get what you mean, it would be like if you say something, I say, let me clarify. Are you saying this, that, and this? You're saying this, that, and this. Okay, I get it. Okay, based on that, I'll say this. Yeah. They don't do. They go, aha! You said a word. Now I can't find that.
Yeah, get wrecked.
Ugh.
But I don't debate anyway. So we actually are going to have a progressive on in the next week or so, an actual progressive candidate who's running 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And I think it's going to be a great conversation. I think we're going to disagree. And I'm really curious to see how it goes because like when someone says to me that healthcare is a human right, I got a bunch of questions to ask.
Right.
I've never gotten a satisfactory answer to it. I like the idea personally of universal healthcare.
Yeah, sure.
I think if we could guarantee functional universal healthcare to everybody that doesn't destroy the economy or jack up prices, everybody would probably be like, oh yeah, if it's like a great.
Of course.
It seems like many of these leftists just think you can snap your fingers and do it.
Well, I always think it's funny when every time it comes up, I say, ask Lauren Chen how universal health care worked for her dad's cancer. Oh, he had to fly to the United States?
That's right.
America. You had to fly here to save his life? Oh, yeah. Okay, enjoy your universal health care.
Without revealing too many personal details, there's someone I've known for a very long time who had to deal with that as well. That in Canada, they didn't have access and they had to come to the United States. But the problem is when you've got someone who's very sick, you can't come to the United States.
Yep.
Travel is too difficult. But if
if
they just lived here, then they'd be in the hospital in and out.
Yeah.
Yeah,
they might be broke, but they'll be alive.
Yeah.
It's the challenge I say is when they say healthcare is a human right, I say, okay, there was a story about a Louisiana kid and he had a disease, a genetic disease. There's a cure for this. Costs $1 million. You know why? It's extremely hard to produce and we don't have
And there's no mass demand for it probably either.
Exactly.
Like
So the materials, the production, the knowledge, the know-how is extremely rare because it's an extremely rare disease. Do we say everyone has a right to $1 million treatment?
Yeah, right.
That's tough.
Yeah, who's paying for all the R&D, right? That even created it.
But who's going to do the work to make it?
Nobody. There's no incentive.
Therein lies the big problem. And I was talking to someone and I said, dude, healthcare can't be a human right because we haven't cured every disease yet.
Right.
That means we literally can't treat some things. But I do think we definitely talked about it. What is it called? Like when you break your hand or break your leg, like urgent care.
Yeah.
Yeah. That should
Urgent,
be. That should be.
It is
very affordable.
It is. Yeah.
Well, I'm totally down if we figured out a way to implement some kind of care for that.
Emergency cases. Yeah.
If you get if your kid has the flu and needs like a Tamiflu or something really quickly because they're in serious, we can take care of that.
We already do.
What?
Yeah, I had to go to the emergency room one time, and I was like, "I'm sorry, I don't have the money. I work in a call center."
And they didn't charge you.
They did not charge me a single penny.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Looks like we got a pretty good system.
Well, the way the law is that they can't turn you away.
Right.
So, yeah.
Which is kind of a problem.
Of course.
But
yeah. I think we could all agree that healthcare could be significantly better.
Of course.
But, yeah, that's a different topic for a different day.
We should start with that earlier.
Yeah.
Jesse DeMarco says, Jeremy is a stand-up guy. I own Fire and Dice, a store that was canceled by Wizards of the Coast in 2018. He was the only online voice willing to stand up against cancel culture, and his GoFundMe was a real moral boost for our loyal community, paying it forward.
Oh, cool.
And that was over the little Keck flag.
Yep.
They had like a little Keck flag in a pot somewhere. That's so insane, man.
Wizards of the Coast, man.
I went to a game shop, and they had a bunch of weird intersectional symbols, and I was just like, I'm not going to listen. I was talking to a guy and I said, if I go to a place and I see a Trump flag, you know what the worst case scenario is? Worst case scenario.
What?
I get into an argument with a guy about something.
Oh, right.
I see these like far leftist symbols. You know what the worst case scenario is?
Yeah, you get beat up.
You get into or they try and cancel you. They posting like they harass you.
Yeah.
And then the crazy thing is the shop stopped carrying magic altogether.
Oh, wow.
And I'm like, then what is this place? It's really weird. Yeah, really
Safe
weird.
space.
Yeah.
Yeah, safe space.
Well, maybe having all that crap up made people feel unwelcome.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
Killed their own business.
Doobie McNasty says boom, and thanks for the super chat. That's
thanks.
Very beautiful super chat.
Excellent super chat.
Let's see, what do we got here? We have a bunch of super chats, but there we go. Garhunt says Matthew Mercer pulled out of an online stream because he was playing an Asian character, stating you should not role play other races. Meanwhile, he's voice acting Asian characters discussed. Matthew Mercer as an Asian person. Okay, I am extremely.
You're speaking for all Asians right now.
Every single one. I am extremely offended.
Yeah,
and all mixed race people.
Yeah.
I believe I am calling on his company to immediately terminate. And I'm kidding. I don't care.
Well, how come all those people that voice act for The Simpsons don't have yellow skin?
That's an
issue.
Right?
Yeah.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
I guess no. Actually, I think that's one way around it.
Yeah, right.
Like,
pick a skin. Yeah.
I think it was Family Guy that made the joke when they did the crossover that someone said everyone there had jaundice or something.
Yeah. That's true.
Robert Stratton says, thanks to both Jeremy and Tim for doing what you do. Jeremy, I know you don't like politics and games. I helped fund exclusively games, but check out Republic. It is doubly subversive.
Ooh.
All right, I'll check it out.
Yeah. Matthew Stockhausen says, interesting show with Bree's biggest fan, the fence sitter and Queen Lids.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, all right.
Why are they saying you're biggest? Because you did a bunch of videos about her?
Yeah.
It's so funny because I did too.
Yeah.
And it was really weird how people were like, I can't believe Tim's doing another video about Brie Larson. And most of my videos were like, with respect, she can do her thing. I got no issue. My complaint with Captain Marvel was that I thought she was poorly cast.
Yeah.
And that's not,
it wasn't her fault.
I thought Robin Wright would have been way better as Carol Danvers.
Yeah. I mean, there's a whole bunch of them, but ultimately now it's become a meme on my channel where I like do extra videos because people get super mad. Yeah.
And then people just watch because it's funny.
They hate watch, yeah.
Death Trout says super chatters are the best looking people.
Indeed.
Tim's going after a Rakita Log Grift King title. That's true. It is a scientific fact.
Yeah,
actually.
I've never seen anything to disprove it.
That's correct. I've not either.
Yeah. I've not seen the faces of the people giving me the super chats.
I'm sure they're very attractive, though.
I know they are. Yeah.
W50,000. What currency is W? Love from South Korea.
South Korea.
Wow.
Cool.
Yeah.
Thanks, man.
Amazing. South Korea.
I don't know what kind of
there it
currency that is.
Doobie McNasty says, Jeremy informed me of PlayStation reporting Hong Kong citizens.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow. Oh, PlayStation reporting Hong Kong citizens, yeah.
This is messed up.
Yeah.
William Bright says Lynn Wood got a subpoena going for his lawsuit in Georgia against Secretary of State.
Oh, interesting.
Very interesting.
Ooh, that's
interesting.
spicy, yeah.
Elusive Gator says Tim was very surprised with Alex Jones with all the conspiracy theories. The topic of Q was never brought up. You should bring a Q researcher on your show. It came up.
It came up. Yeah, you guys talked about it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And Alex was kind of disparaging, wasn't he? He said
he disparaged the group, basically saying, he kind of, I remember that.
It was really interesting to see, sitting down with Alex, the difference between when he's obviously doing a bit and when he's seriously talking about something.
Yeah, you
and
can tell.
he said something like the Q people are just, what did he say? It was like they're really hopeful and they just want to believe all this. Yeah, it's like that's interesting coming from Alex because that's like a good way to put it,
Yeah.
Insightful.
Yeah.
It's a safe way to put it,
Yeah.
Oh, we just jumped.
No.
Andrea says, any bets as to how long it'll take until the Dems and left overvoting Biden in? They already are.
They are.
They already are.
It's amazing how many leftists are already going like, that Joe Biden. Oh, can you believe he's putting lobbyists on his transition team? Yes, I literally can.
Hello?
I said he was going to.
Baby.
Well, you did that video too with the Biden regret, like instant Biden regret.
Right.
Like it's like, this is the dude. Okay, no more Trump.
Was it Naomi Wolf? She was like, if I had known Biden was for lockdowns, I wouldn't have voted for him.
How could you not know?
He said it.
Yeah.
On the debate stage.
Yeah.
Trump was screaming he's the lockdown candidate.
Yeah.
But they only watch these mainstream news channels that just want to feed them the refuse, man.
Yeah.
That's the crazy thing. It's like I have these people saying, there's people that are so blinded by the mainstream news outlets or they don't read news at all. And look.
They watch YouTube clips.
With respect to Vosh coming on the show, he did not know a lot about what was going on with the Durham report, the Durham investigation.
Yeah, I was surprised.
And so it's like, not that I expect him to know everything, but that you can tell if someone says Trump is a despot because he fired Comey, and you're like, do you know why he fired Comey? Well, I don't know. Like, it's probably important that you do.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that means I'm not saying he's ignorant of everything he talked about. I'm just saying in that particular instance, maybe that's the reason why you don't like Trump, because you don't know that he had good reason to fire some of these people.
Well, yeah, there were plenty of good reasons to get rid of Comey.
Oh, yeah, that guy was awful.
Yeah, he's terrible. And I just remember his, he posted this selfie on Twitter. By the way, who the hell cares about you now that you're not in the He has, his Biden mug and his... I'm like, oh, my God, dude.
Yeah, the establishment.
Yeah,
Truth
go
is his
away.
religion.
Carl Flynn says... Carl Flynn says, first ever super chat, just got back from deployment. For some reason, YouTube wouldn't let me use yen. In any case, God bless you all and keep speaking the truth.
Welcome back.
Hey,
Appreciate it.
Thank you for your service.
Shadman says, two of my favorite YouTubers, the Beanie and the Beard. Wonderful conversation to watch.
Yeah, all right. Yeah.
Beanie and the
This
Beard.
needs to be a regular thing.
Yeah, it's better than Weenie in the Butt.
Yeah. What was that, Family Guy?
Yeah, Weenie in the Butt.
Turn the knob up and rip it off. Spidge Bandersnatch says, I'd love a video walkthrough of your facility and your music studio. Will you commit to that right now? Isn't that worth $15? Call it pre-monetization. There's not really anything to show right now.
We don't have a music studio.
Yeah, we haven't. We're gonna start vlogging, and then you'll probably get a better picture. But for now, it's like we have just like a spot where we do the studio, a spot where we skate. And
well, there's
so
a VIP area. I saw you posted a picture of it.
In the skate park.
Yeah, you probably got video of me doing the
backflip.
Super 6,
Yeah,
7,
yeah.
20.
The 900.
Yeah, the 900 shirtless. Yeah.
That's definitely on.
Yeah.
So the VIP
that'll be on the clips. Yeah.
The VIP section is on top of the 6-foot half pipe.
It's
Yeah.
so fun.
Yeah.
And if you can get up it, you're VIP.
Ooh.
Everybody basically
I have a
can.
secret
It's not
way.
super hard.
It helps when you're 6'5".
Yeah, that
Yeah,
does
definitely.
help.
You just put your hand up and it's like. Whoop.
Yeah.
But then if you can't, then you're relegated to the Nether Lounge, which is underneath
I
it, which
love
is
that
all.
name, by the
Yeah.
way.
Yeah,
DIP. Yeah.
Yep.
Nether Lounge.
Let's see. Nelson Neville says, "Why is cultural appropriation considered bad, but gender appropriation is encouraged?
Oh.
Degenerative things good, unifying things bad."
Good question.
I
We
think
sh-
you answered it.
Gender
Yeah.
appropriation. Huh.
Yes.
What would you call that? What do you think he's referring to? Gender appropriation?
Men
Like,
being
uh,
women.
like
Don't
men
exist.
dressing like women?
Drag
Yes.
shows.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's
know.
a fair question. Ask somebody who supports it.
Yeah. Armor Wing says, talking about the need for our healthcare and not being able to turn people away. There's a lot of hospital beds here in El Paso full of COVID patients from Mexico. My aunt died alone in the hospital bed over there.
wow.
Wow, man.
Yeah, that sucks.
All right, let's see. Logan Matthews says, you touched on an important point, incentive. Taking a look at human behavior and incentive is important to uncovering the root of the problem we see. Interesting.
Yeah.
And I'll take, let's do two more. Let's do two more. The Killer Critic says, will they rig this in 2022? Should I bother voting?
Yes, please vote. Please.
I'll probably end up voting in 2022.
You gotta vote. You
will,
can't
yeah.
just give up. But pay attention
know,
to
man.
candidates. Don't do it, Tim. Don't get black pilled on me, bud.
Don't.
You gotta like look for candidates that are going to.
I will say, if you believe the widespread voter fraud narrative is true, then you probably also believe how dramatic and desperate they were fighting back. So I think there is a threshold to where if you get enough votes, it breaks the system. So
If you're that worried, request a mail-in ballot. It takes you like 30 seconds to do it from home and mail it in and move on with your life. Like literally, it takes like.
drop it off, because a lot of
drop
Republican,
it off in a box if you
a
can.
lot of the Republican absentee ballots, according to Voter Integrity Fund, never got received.
Mine still says in Wisconsin. I did early in person. It still says it hasn't been counted.
Wow.
Now they say they have up to 45 days to update that, but I'm like, well, what's the point then? Because the election's over.
Yep.
Like maybe you should. It's all automated. I'm sure they could use some API like, oh, they scanned.
That's the
in,
crazy
you know?
thing about our election system is that the founding fathers should have given several months.
Yeah,
Because
right.
how do you even investigate impropriety? Like not even fraud, like someone making a mistake. How do you even have time to investigate? They're like, you get a couple weeks.
Well, remember in 2016 they called it the same day.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it was,
Well, the media likes to do that.
Yeah.
All right, here's the last one. Snack A13 says, an army marches on its belly. Napoleon and Frederick the Great. A hungry man really only fights for food. Could the lockdowns be a tool for hindering our ability to defend the Constitution through hardship in some cases? Well, won't that make? I see what you're saying. I don't know.
it's
know.
a yeah.
Maybe.
I mean, it's a. Who knows? It's a dangerous hole to go down to when you start thinking about like some of the really nefarious stuff that people talk about with the government and what they're doing to control people. But I think that the lockdowns will bring more people together and will galvanize people against the ruling class, which will be good.
I think you're right.
Yeah, I think in 2022 they're actually projecting Republicans are going to take back control.
Yeah, I do too.
because
Yeah, I think they
they
will,
just
too.
won the state legislatures. Democrats won none, so Republicans have gained more control, which means more Republican gerrymandering.
Yeah, so they're going to hold, right?
Well, they're going to create more opportunities for Republicans to gain districts.
That's what I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
yeah.
what I mean. Yeah.
Well, Jeremy, thank you for hanging out.
Yeah, I really appreciate you guys having me on. Lydia, thank you so much.
Heck
Tim,
yeah.
thank you. Hey, to the crowd, thanks, Tim, for not telling me how many people are in there, so I didn't have to
No
full
stage
blown
fright.
panic attack in front of
Yeah.
everybody. Yeah, but I appreciate you having me. And,
Yeah, for sure, dude.
Yeah, thanks for having
Well,
me.
if you haven't already, smash the like button right now. Smash
yeah.
it. Press it. It really does help. And hit the notification bell. Subscribe. We do the show Monday through Friday live at 8 p.m. Tomorrow is going to be a big and consequential show, apparently. I'm hoping so. I mean, sometimes guests cancel. That's why I'm not going to announce exactly what it is. But it could have an impact. Discussion we're going to have, I believe, will absolutely have an impact on the elections. It's going to be some serious litigation. So we're gonna have somebody talking about some stuff that could affect everything. It's
Look,
gonna
and
be
if Tim's
crazy.
show's not on, I mean, you can always subscribe to the quartering.
That's
I mean,
But,
if, his internet
what?
goes,
Yeah.
if his internet goes down, I mean,
Weekend nights,
I do
yeah.
like what? I have Tim Pool levels of output. I
He
have
does,
like
yeah, he actually does.
6-7 videos a day. You know?
Boom.
Yeah.
It's
So
impressive.
you can follow me on Twitter and Instagram and Parler at Timcast. My other channels are youtube.com/Timcast and youtube.com/TimcastIRL. which I put. I'm sorry, Timcast News. This is Timcast
This
IRL.
is IRL.
But I got 3 channels. We put up content all day. But you can also check out Jeremy.
Yes, please do. Quartering and Mid-Wesley.
The Quartering.
Right.
You need to break 1 million subs.
Yeah,
You're
I'm
very
so close. I can taste it.
Let's
They're gonna.
do it.
They're gonna. They've done it to so many people. I'm not gonna jinx it.
I know what you're about to say. Well, that's what they did to me in November, so I'm hoping that break on through here.
Break on through,
yeah.
and then they begrudgingly give you the gold.
They
medal.
may not. There's more and more people who just aren't getting the award.
I know somebody who's got hundreds of thousands, and YouTube basically told them to F off. They're like, we don't like you. We've never liked you. We're not giving you the award.
Yeah.
For me, they were like, we're going to send you 2.
Right. Well, yeah, you're Tim Pool. I mean,
Yep.
yeah, you've got some missing bricks up front. You just put these down on the ground. Yeah.
So I have 2 channels that cracked 1 million. This channel is like 150 away or so,
Yeah.
IRL.
Close.
But I ended up getting 2 for some reason.
That's weird.
Like they just 2 came for
Well-
1. I'm like, all right, here we go. I got 2.
Yeah, y'all have none. I have, so.
Come on, guys,
yeah.
get Jeremy to
Yeah.
So
go.
the Quartering on YouTube, and
Yeah.
you're very close. So
Yeah.
yeah, man, but definitely come back.
Yeah,
And
happy
of course,
to.
you can follow Lydia.
You can follow us our Patch Lids on Twitter, LYDS.
And the chair is empty. Ian's not
The chair
here.
is empty, but
Too
we
bad.
do have.
Take that
The
Federal
voting
Reserve. Yeah.
We should create a Twitter account for the fucking.
You should just have a live stream for the plant.
Seriously.
You know
Yeah.
what? You know what I really
I'm
want to do?
mesmerized.
I want to
Okay.
dedicate an entire room to several guinea pigs,
Yes.
and just turn a live camera on 24/7.
Dude, did you ever watch The Hamster Guy?
No.
Oh my! Let me tell you, my friend. it's. I think it's called Hampshire or something. Some chat will probably know.
New hamster.
No, but he has all these hamsters living underwater, and he has like all these projects, and he has like
That's
a Patreon.
Yeah, it's like
Cool.
the hamster house is under the water, so they're in it, walking around. In an aquarium.
so
Yeah.
yeah. It's wholesome content.
That'd be fun stuff.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to be back tomorrow at 8 p.m. live with a very, very big and very important consequential show. That's why I'm not going to say right now that I think Trump is down and out just yet, but I'll admit with this announcement
He's
of transition,
down, but he's not out.
Not yet.
yeah, the transition thing to me sounds like he's preparing,
Yeah.
he's recognizing, but there's some pending litigation which could be very, very consequential. We'll be talking about tomorrow with this special guest. So thanks for hanging out, and we will see you all tomorrow at 8 p.m. live.
Bye, guys.
Bye.